Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bronco Talk Live, presented by White Knuckle Off-Road Products, the most amazing rock sliders ever. And we'll get a little bit more into that later. But, Kelly, it's time to talk some Ford Broncos. And look who was right at the get-go. She was ready to go. Actually, it was quite early. She probably was, I think she was here before we were, Miss Aly Dubois. What is going on, Aly?
Oh, hey, guys.
Hi.
How
You threw me off with the intro tonight.
I know. I do that on purpose. How are you? How are both of you? How's the Mondays going for both of you ladies?
Good. I was thankfully off today, so I was able to get a bunch of errands done that I don't normally get to do because life is on a roll. But my day was good. Spent it with Sid, and we had a good time.
Good. Aly, how's
Aly?
your crazy emails? Maybe.
Oh, we got some crazy emails and crazy phone calls. It was great.
Oh,
man. We'll talk about that tomorrow after 11:30.
Oh, I bet. So tonight, what's going to happen, everybody? We're gonna bring in the Diabolical team, Mr. Allen and Brandon, into the show in just a minute. But I kind of want to lay it out. I know we broke some news earlier. Do not ask Aly anything about that because she works for a Ford dealership, and honestly, they don't know anything. So the news that I broke earlier this week is, ask me and Kelly anything, but don't bug Aly about it because honestly, like, I know we were talking private, like Aly's email box is just full of just like, what the F is going on here, man? Like, so, but
good times.
Oh, very good time. So Kelly, just a normal day as a holiday, a normal day, nothing special, nothing crazy.
We went and saw a movie. We had lunch.
I'm assuming you took the Bronco.
Of course I took the Bronco. Like, was that even a question?
I don't know.
There was a little rattle in the back of the Bronco, and I was like freaking out, going, what the hell is going on? And then when we got home, I opened up the gate because it sounded like the tire, you know how like we've heard other people's tires being loose on the back?
Yeah. That's
what it sounded like every time I went over a bump. And I opened up the tailgate when we got home, and I was like, oh, it's Sydney's bat.
Man,
I was freaking out though because I was like, "What is wrong with our Bronco?"
Yeah. Well, we don't need anything wrong with the Bronco.
No.
But Aly, any how many miles you got on yours this week? I'm assuming you've only added like 20 more thousand or something, right?
Oh no, I'm at 30,200.
That's crazy.
Nice.
Something. Yeah, you're telling me I'm like freaking out now that I have that many.
I know you guys got some big events coming up, right?
Yeah, we do. We actually have, we have Snowfest this weekend, which if y'all are watching from Michigan, we don't have snow right now, but you guys saw the layout of Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
Tom is actually importing snow from Mount Holly, and we're going to get the snow blowers pointed over to the back side of it. So we're just hoping it's warm enough to run it. So we'll see. So we have Snowfest this weekend that you can come hang out with us, and I'll be there the entire day. And then what's our next one? Oh, Supercell.
I was like, it's only back here 91 days till Super Celebration, man.
So excited. Cabins booked, ready to go. Packed. Not really packed, but want to be packed.
I was going to say, dang, girl, we're not packed because we got Chicago before that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. After Snowfest, I have nothing but Supercell. So that's like my next one that I'm ready for.
You're always busy. I find it hard to believe that nothing's going to pop up in between now and Supercell.
Oh, something's for sure going to pop up. I'm just not ready for it.
Well, and the springtime's a great time to sell cars, right? Like people are bored.
Yeah, normally January and February are pretty slow just because you have like model year changeover. Nobody wants to spend money because they just spent it all during the holidays. So this is like our slower time right now. So we'll see.
All right. Well, guys, you know what's about to happen. And Kelly can see that I got rid of something.
Yes.
So here we go.
My least favorite intro that you got rid of.
And tonight, before she gets started, I am enjoying a import of sorts of whiskey, Suntory whiskey. So,
maybe you should have tried it before you.
I did try it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say before you go live on show and cringe and not like it or something.
What do you expect me to be like, hanging off the chair and just like, this is great stuff, man.
Maybe in the day.
All right, do your thing, Kelly.
All right. So lots of people in tonight. Let's see. Jason K coming in. Frank Costanza. Terrence Mooney. Terrence Mooney says he doesn't have any updates on his Bronco.
Oh man.
Bim Joker. And he said just got a sticker a month ago. Still waiting. Is Terrence. Bob Masters. And Randy Hughes, Eric Jefferson, Michael Cooper saying, "What's up, everybody?"
What's up, buddy?
Seth Fontanet saying, "Hey, all, does anyone have a perch kit installed?" And I think they started kind of talking about that.
Okay.
We've got Cigar Techs and Pavement Ends. Slade the Blade says, "Sold my Bronco. Do I still get to be a part of Bronco All Terrain Nation on Monday?"
Of course
nights?
you do, man.
And Pez Head 123, Iconic Bronco. Jeff Dysert saying, "Hooday."
Hooday.
David Zarco. Jason Leopold saying LED in the house. Richard Ortega and Executive Black saying, "How's that catback exhaust doing?"
We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Flo Warris said, "I got the hardtop squeak only once in high winds hitting 2 potholes."
Well, I'm just happy Flo got one, man. He was looking so hard to get one.
I know. And we've got Mountains to Metal in the house. A couple folks that I didn't get a chance to tag in here. Tennessee Code Monkey, Mountains to Metal, Bud Guy 8829, Gail Thompson checking in from Ontario.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
National.
I know. Dirk Connor, Sea Seeker Bronco. Looking forward to hearing from Alan tonight. Says.
Well, and speaking of Alan, we might as well bring him in. Like, they've been back there waiting.
I know. They've been so patient backstage.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we've got Alan and Brandon. Welcome back to the show, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
That's not a Bronco behind you, first off, Alan.
No.
What is going on there?
That's another toy I picked up a couple years ago.
Okay.
That's
Does
my
it off-road well?
That's my 4x4 Sprinter.
Did you take
It's kind of my pack mule for running cross country.
I know. The last time we saw you, we did get to see you with that vehicle in East Tennessee. And how many miles on that thing, Alan, before we get started?
33,000.
That's it? Come on, man. Those are rookie
Only
numbers.
2 years old.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, you almost have you beating my Bronco.
It's not my daily driver. The Bronco's out in the parking lot getting snow on it right now.
Well, so, Alan, you finally got your Bronco. What's your thoughts of the platform?
I like it. Brandon will have to plug his ears. I
better say something nice.
I like it more than my Jeep, but
yes.
There's a couple of things I don't like after driving it. I think the radio sucks.
Yes.
The connectivity dropping from my phone all the time, it just drives me bat shit crazy. Sorry, We're not family friendly.
No, that's all right.
And I've had BMWs and other cars that the windows drop when you open the doors and then they go back up and they're smooth.
These are slow.
Clunky. It's clunky.
Yeah.
So it makes me worry about that. I've got the soft top because I couldn't get my hard top, so I had to change that. But I don't like the hooks. The hooks plastic, they're going to break. I've seen a lot of people breaking theirs because they slam the soft top down. So it's something that I'm looking into. Maybe something coming down the road.
That's an amazing. A guy that builds aftermarket parts looking to improve things.
Make it better? What?
Oh, man. So, Aly, welcome. You guys really, we did the whole formal introductions off air, but Aly's never got to talk to you guys. So, Aly, load those questions up. I know I've hit you up. I said, hey, Diabolicals, come on, you better be ready. But Kelly, talk to Alan a minute, man. It's been a while. We haven't got to see everybody since
just put it on me, huh?
Well, I'm not saying smooth talking. Like, geez, I'm just like,
what's up,
hello or something.
How you
Sorry,
doing?
my whiskey intake has not hit just the right level. Just
wow. Yet. Apparently, he's not he's not smooth enough yet tonight.
I'm a smooth criminal.
No, so we're excited to see the new products that you guys having coming out, because I know that you guys have been working hard on coming out, and like Dave called me out in the pre-show of like, I'm super excited to see your, I don't even know what, now you're putting me on the spot. I can't remember what it's called. Your tailgate slide out. What's it called, Alan?
Slide floor.
Slide floor. Thank you.
Slide floor.
See what happens when he puts me on?
I know he corrected me earlier in a text message.
Slide floor. So there you go. I'm excited to see that. in action, and we're excited to see you at Supercell East. I know you're going to be there. You're going to be in your own tent and all that, and you're looking for some trucks to put in there. So I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah. We've we released the slide floor last year, and me coming from 35 years in aviation, it's like, how do you, the one downfall, if you say there's a downfall in it, is we're beholden to the slides, the quality of the slides, and they're all the same industry wide. Mm-hmm. And we went with the 225 pounders that still allowed you to disengage it, because when you pull the slide floor all the way out, you need to go a little bit deeper to be able to still gain access to your underfloor storage. So the problem with going to a heavy duty, which is 400 to 500 pounds, these things are rock solid, super strong. Ball bearings are bigger. The races to hold the ball bearings are, it's like 1/8 inch steel. So the ball bearings aren't coming out of it. And they have a lifetime warranty from the vendor we're going to be going to. Awesome. So I don't want to be in the slide replacement business. So we're getting with a national chain on being the supplier of it. The only thing was, it took a little while to get this designed right. The slides, when you go to the heavy duty, they don't disengage. So you have to overcome, how do you get it out far enough to actually still be able to gain access to the underneath? So you want to see what it looks like?
Yes.
No, they don't want to see. They don't.
Aly says yes.
So this is it. We're going to 3/16 aluminum too, so it's going to be stiffer. Wow. But what you'll notice, go that way a little bit with it, Brandon. So right here, you'll see that there's a cutout in the tray, and there's an added panel that you can see right here. So what you do is, when you pull it all the way out, you just pull 2 1/4-20 screws out. This piece comes off, and that's that extra 2 inches that it needed to get the top to come off, or the underneath storage to be able to hinge that up. So,
and we're looking at the spinner nuts.
Yeah. So we tried a spinner nut with it. We found that you definitely need to put a lock washer with a washer on it. Tension, because I hear rattling in the back, and I open up going, what the heck? And it's halfway out, so it needs that tension on it. But 1/4-20s, that tighten right up nice and tight, never come loose.
Awesome.
So we're doing that. And then on the rear side, I'm changing it from where it was a slight angle. We're doing 90-degree bend on it, so it's stronger. And then also building a brace that ties this in, because there's no vertical here, which would, so you can see the vertical on one, but not the vertical where the decal is. So to strengthen that up, we're doing this cross piece right here, this little Z bracket. And going to 3/16, 3-inch tall, 3-inch, 400 to 500 pound slides.
The ones there are just the 2-inch, 220 pound slides.
Yeah, and it's just gonna make this thing so much better. And then what I did was I redesigned the drawer for it too. I was
gonna say, people are really looking forward to the drawer,
because the one thing that I did with the first one is I went as wide as I could with it. But that with the plastic, and it's got to be the cheapest plastic interior that I've ever seen. Because you touch it with your thumbnail and you leave a mark.
I've said that Jeep knows the plastics way better than Ford knows the plastics on this stuff.
Yeah. So what I did was I moved everything in about 1/2 inch on both sides, so you get a little bit more room. So what we've done is, now you've got side walls that bolt to the side frames on the slide floor that come over 90 degrees. And we've got a top panel. Trying to think where it's at. We have it's in powder coat. We have a top panel that sits on it with 3 like I-beam girders bolted underneath, so you can stand and dance on this thing and it doesn't bow. And it all goes in. And what's really nice is the top panel it's going to have PEM studs in it. So when it goes down on the flat 90s, you're doing spinner nuts on the bottom of it. So you can take it off anytime you need to have a big slide out with gear on it, or you want to make it a drawer. It's 60 seconds putting the 4 spinner nuts on it.
Now
And
you're
it's
giving
still-
him ideas to dance on it. Way to go, Alan.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of off-road event you're going to, Alan, but dancing on these things is
Yeah,
He'll dab on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
no, I don't dab.
I mean, do you have a pole attachment that then, like I said, I don't know what kind of event you go to, but
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Ellie's like, I'm out. See.
But so we're getting that one back. We're taking it down to Winter 4x4 this weekend in St. George, Utah. Showing it off. It's going to go live on the website next week. So people have been waiting for that, to have the slide floor and the drawer top with it. We got a couple other new things coming out. I don't know if you want to hear about them.
sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So because we make molly panels for the folding top and the wall assembly, the center wall panel, this actually is a molly panel for the roll bars. And what it does is it bolts right into your 2 bolts that are on the skin for the bracket underneath. So you're just going to pull those bolts out, put this in, put those 2 bolts back in, and the 1 roll bar bolt.
Awesome.
Nice. What a rough price on, or is it going to be on those? Or
That's
have you priced
awesome.
them out?
Probably right around 175 to
Yeah.
200.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's in line with, other ones that are out there that are made out of steel.
Mhm.
This is all aluminum. Where I
nice.
can go aluminum, I'm going aluminum. We just go thicker with it. It is stout. You can't bend it. That's why we made sure we put 90-degree bends in it.
Can you dance on it?
And then I sent you a picture of the visor shelf. The visor shelf is pretty. It's pretty cool. I'm proud of it.
I'm trying to get it. Give me just a second. I'm trying to pull it up.
So
There.
so when you lift your soft top up, there's 2 factory bolts sitting just off to the side of where those latches go. You pull those 2 bolts out. My brackets, come over, down about 6 inches and over, and that, so you can see how far that sticks out from the backside of the factory sun visors. It's about 7 inches deep, and you've got about 5 to 6 inches in height above it. And we're going 3/16 aluminum, so it is lightweight, but it is rigid as all get out. And you can see right where you've got the plastic for the center console up there. We're doing a rubber edge seal that goes in, and that keeps it from also moving up and down or touching, the plastic and scratching the plastic.
Right.
And then that 90-degree bend up, it just gives something that if you have something above it, it's not going to slide back on you. It makes a great, every kind of radio would mount up there, every kind of CB. It's got plenty of room for it.
Yeah, any of those.
Yeah. Nice. And I know these are at powder coat as well.
I was trying to get you one, but I couldn't get my powder guys to get it in the mix till this week. So
That's really cool.
that kind of ticked me off a little bit. And then so we've got
Anna says I'll trade you 6 dozen eggs for 1 for a 2-door.
Well, honest.
Who's got a 2-door?
Anna Smith, he is in Kentucky.
Yep.
Oh.
We need you. Are you going to Super Celebration? Because I need a 2-door on display.
Oh, yeah.
I think he might.
You're the
be
first
coming to
person
Super
asking
Cel.
about it, and you're relatively close. So,
All right, Anna, message us. You know where to find us.
Yep.
because the 2-door is really cool. So this goes all the way up to the back of the seats. This is what we call the locker. So the locker is up to the back of the rear seat still being in. And you can see that it's spinner nuts that hold the wall panel and the top in place. So if you need to put the seats down and sleep in the back end, 60 seconds, you pull the 4 spinner nuts on the wall and 4 on the top, you're sleeping in the back end of your Bronco.
That's awesome.
You want to put it all back together for security, it's there. And then the other thing that we snuck into it is See the slides on that? Go back to the other picture.
Sorry.
We are pre-installing PEM nuts to add slides for a slide-out tray for a 2-door.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
So that way you can put a full-size cooler, a fridge, sideways, left to right, in that space. Underneath, totally secure.
Nice. Which is, 2-doors there need all the space they can get and all
Mhm.
the smart use of the space.
And you can see that you still have access on the passenger side to your cubby compartment, the light, and the plug-in with the access holes in the sidewall.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Nice.
and you still have full access to the underneath storage.
Yeah.
The whole thing is having everything bolt in like it was made, to be there.
Yeah. And what I think with the way that you've done this is still you're using the flat on the other side. It's the flat screws where nobody can peel into this
Correct.
thing.
Yep, they're a pressed
You
in.
want to pull the straight behind you.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one that I can.
Oh, do you want me to grab that J wall?
Yeah, grab the.
I love live TV.
Yeah, grab that one.
Oh, by the way, this is going too smooth.
So
Oh, it's very good.
you can see here. Can you see any bolt heads on that?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Well, they are pressed in
Oh nice.
and they're locked in. So
oh,
you're
that's
not
awesome.
you're not getting them out.
Well, that's one thing I like about you guys is you don't settle with the product. You don't bring a product out and just sort of like, well, that was it. Let's move on to the next one. You're always innovating.
Well, and we've changed things so many times just to make it better through the course of
5 years.
yeah. I mean, everything that we've done, there's been small tweaks to. I think.
And everything
make
that
it
we've
better.
done with making it better allows you to take those parts differences without having to buy a whole kit.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can still use the one that you originally had. You're just upgrading parts.
Yeah, that's the nice thing is smart use of that where if, hey man, my budget only allows for so much this go around, and then 6 months or whatever I can add on to it.
Yep. And
I
then
was gonna say that's my story to a T because I bought a used system for my Jeep from a buddy and got hooked up with Al, and I said, okay, what am I missing? Like I see all this, folding top, and I don't have that, And he's like, well, yeah, let's, we can work together. We can upgrade it.
I see Iconic Bronco asked a question: does the Molly panels work with
Yes.
the Raptor bracing? So my bolt is on the underside of the roll bar, that access point. I know that I've seen. So this is on the forward side of the roll bar, towards the front seat. What I've seen with the Raptor is it's the rear mounts.
Right.
I don't know if there's one that comes around on the inside. I don't know. So if somebody can send me a picture of that, the whole thing is let's make it work with all of it.
Or if you're in the Utah area,
Yeah.
Yes.
bring your Raptor over. I'm sure they'd like to see it.
And then the other thing that we've been asked for 6 months is, are we going to do anything for the 2-door with the rear seats out?
Oh, nice. Here, I'm not even ready for you. I was over here like trying to be ahead of everything.
He's still on the locker. We're already moving on.
Well, I mean, if anybody has questions on the locker,
Yeah.
happy to talk about that. Somebody said better late than never. Oh, maybe that's coming into the show, not my parts coming out.
No, yes.
But
Let me.
we get it. We've been selling full-size systems in the Jeep industry for people that take their rear seats out of a 2-door because they want actual storage space and they want secure storage space. And we've taken that with our locker and extended that forward. So it's about 40 inches long, the side walls, and it's the same wall panel goes in with the spinner nuts and 2 top panels with spinner nuts. So it's coming out. We're getting it done. We're taking it to the Winter 4x4 show this weekend. Then we're going and installing it in a King of the Hammers Bronco 2-door that's going out there running.
Oh, nice.
And we just have to get the forward brackets for the wall figured out. So it's basically just seeing where the seat bolts are in the floor and then figuring out the bracketry just to mount up to the wall panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't have that picture on that one.
That's the Ridgeback one that I sent you, I think, Dave.
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ridgeback is the one that's unpowder coated bare aluminum.
Yeah. Let's see if
And I think that one's going to be pretty big because what we're also doing with it, spoiler alert, because we PEM stud and PEM bolt everything, it's going to have PEM nuts in the sidewall for
36. Well, the slides are 36. The tray
36-inch slides will
Oh,
bolt
cool.
onto the sidewall. So you will have up to a 40-inch slide out floor, that full length of it. So that's missing our forward top panel. That was still in metal shop when I took that picture. And as soon as we got it, we took everything to powder coat. But that's how that looks. And that will go all the way up to about a foot behind the front seats in a 2-door with the rear seats out.
Nice. So that
That's
gives
cool.
you honestly, a little more storage than what the 4-door has then.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. It is definitely deeper.
Yeah, I know several people that don't. If they could just for their everyday, if they could just take out their man, if I could find my words, their seats and run them without them all the time, they would. I do know some people that have taken their seats out, but like Anna said, his have been down since day one. He doesn't use his back seats, so this is great for him.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things that going to the super celebrations. We're going to be at Tennessee. We're looking at then booking Wisconsin and Colorado. Is working with somebody bringing in a 2-door to have the locker in to display, somebody to have the seats out to show the Ridgeback on display, and we work with you on the product. So it's first come, first serve, and it's committing to be in the booth space during the day so we can show the product off. And then also having a couple of 4-doors since I probably won't be driving mine out there.
Except maybe Colorado.
Except Colorado and Wisconsin.
Well, guys, definitely reach out to Alan and them through their website. If you are going to be there, don't commit to something where you will not be there, but definitely going to be some fun stuff there. I know you were talking to us a while back, I think when we saw you at East Tennessee about this 2-door locker system you're doing, and that's pretty nice. Do you do something like that for the Jeep as well? Or
Yeah, it was a little bit different design. And when we had to do a redesign for LJ owners, I don't know if you guys know LJ's. LJ's a little bit longer. The TJ kit wouldn't work in it because it needed to be, about another foot longer.
Right.
And the problem with the LJ community was half the people wanted the rear seat in because it would give them 20 inches of space behind the seat to the tailgate. And that's all they wanted. And then the other half was, no, my seat's been out since day one. I want 40 plus inches. So we kind of came up with this module design of sidewalls that would, if you want just module A, it fits with the rear seat. If you take out the seats, you're just going to bolt on module B. And then we did little side compartments, which, have lockable hinge tops on it, which is cool.
Awesome.
For extra bags, gear bags, recovery gear, stuff would fit down in it.
Quick access.
We just don't think that we're going to have enough room on the side of a 2-door Bronco because the wall's different and we're almost full width. I think we're only going to have probably about 4 or 5 inches on the side of the wall to the body tub. So all we'll do is we'll probably create a bracket that bolts to the sidewall in the upper corner and then goes over and picks up the hardtop bolt. So that way it gives it more rigidity at the top. So that way, if you want to throw a full-size spare up on the inside of it, if you want to sleep in it, you want to throw their gear on it. This is on the Ridgeback, not on the locker.
Right.
Just because of being 40 plus inches long, when everything's bolted in, it's going to be stout, but hey, let's add some side brackets for, that side mobility. If you're really doing some wheeling with it and you've got a lot of gear in there and you throw stuff on top, let's keep it 100% solid. And to do brackets isn't that much more. It's just, to me, let's engineer it right.
Sure. Well, I know I had last time you were on, we had a bunch of 2-door people interested in the Slipstream, and now you have this option. I'm showing it on screen here. This is especially for a 2-door guy. Like, they only come with a hard top, so if you want that full feel, either you leave your top at home or something. And so I'm telling you guys, I've had thousands of dollars of camera equipment in when we don't have our
Keep
top
telling
on.
everybody.
No, it's the truth though. I've had all my camera.
We hear that.
Chattanooga, which is not always the nicest place to be, and I never worried about my camera gear with our 4-door version of this because it really did. Kelly, I think you had said, "Are you going to leave this back there?" And I was like, this is no worries at all. And if you need security, you're going to the beach or whatever, you can lock your vehicle up. And as you can see, this little, it all lines up to the tailgate. There's no way to peel it up, as Alan was showing you before. Everything's hidden. All the nuts are hidden. There's no way somebody goes, well, I'll get a screwdriver and get in there. No, I mean, I guess eventually, Alan, if there's a will, there's a way. If they get an axe out there,
they're gonna steal your car first.
Yeah. Your truck first.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna gut it.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it to a chop shop and take it all apart.
Yeah.
Right.
But they leave the slipstream because they couldn't figure out how to get it out of it.
Yeah.
So when you have that closed and everything, what's stopping? Like, there's no rattling or anything.
Nope. Not on the lockers.
There's nothing loose on it because the 4 PEM studs in the top panel and the 4 in the wall, once you spin those plastic spinner nuts
Okay.
all the way up and get them tight, there's nothing moving. And then this is, I grabbed a Jeep one to be close. So you can see the spinner nuts and this whole thing. It's not making it because there's nothing loose on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to have the 2 D-ring bolts in the floor, just like this is for the D-ring bolts on a Jeep. You're connecting to those, and we supply you the longer bolts. So when you pull those plastic covers off and your D-ring out, unlike
You're talking what they call the lassos or whatever, right? In
Yeah.
The floor?
Yeah.
So, sorry, Aly, plug your ears. It's a terrible cover with the Ford products that leave that whole thing open.
Yes.
So dirt and grime and water is going to get in there.
Yeah.
This covers the whole thing. So if you look at those pictures of it, my side brackets come all the way over and cover.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I know this is something, seriously, I've had a lot of, after you mentioned you were doing something, I've had a lot of 2-door people just hitting us up. Now, I will ask this, what about people that have the sub in the rear? How does having that somewhat cover up, is there any problems with that, or?
Typically what you find with a subwoofer is if you add another box outside of the subwoofer, it makes the subwoofer louder.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we all know
a box.
Yeah, the radio in these things is not ideal anyways.
I tell people all the time, because if you're usually getting something like this, it's because you're keeping gear or stuff in the back, a fridge, camping stuff, going to the beach, that kind of stuff. You're going to muffle the sound with everything back there anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Do the aftermarket, put a subwoofer underneath the passenger seat, and you're going to hear it better.
Yeah.
You just are.
Yeah. No, that's the, probably to me, the ultimate flaw right now with the Bronco was the sound system. It's not up to where it should have been.
I hope somebody comes out with a speaker bar like in the Jeep that runs in front of the roll bar towards the front, between the front seat and the back seat people. So the sound is between both people instead of behind you.
Yeah.
And if we get rid of those speakers on the roll bar, you can fold the top flat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing, I know Ford wanted the open experience, and I don't know if there's some weird patent that Jeep has that they can only have the full bar across there or whatever it is, but there's definitely, they were trying to sell a open air experience that's not working for the radio. Aly, you got any questions?
No, my biggest question was the rattling. And then, so for the 4-door, the slide out, that's good to camp on and everything? Like if you sleep in the back. Oh.
You broke up a little bit.
Sleep in the back.
So for the slide out for the 4-door, that's good to camp on and everything?
So with the drawer top, we're doing you can have it at 2 settings. So in the sidewall, we're putting 2 different height. So you can set it at, I think it's like 5.5 inches or 6.5 inches tall. So if you go to the lowest setting, it's still a little bit higher than the first part of the seat where it drops down. But by the time you get to the angle, trying to turn my body the right way to the camera, by the time you get to that little bit of rise towards the front seat, you're at your level. So it would be easy to take something like a pool noodle, a couple of beach blankets, and just kind of fold them up and put them down. Most people are going to get something like
the Dream Sleep or whatever.
Yeah, Dream Sleep mattress.
Oh yeah, I've seen
the
those.
Inflatable ones that just fit back there in the Jeeps. Guarantee it, they're bringing one out for the Bronco. Yeah. And you'd be able to just put that thing all the way across and sleep on an air mattress, and yes, it would be flat. Because we're coming up at least 5 inches to 5.5 at the lowest setting.
That's really cool.
Don't worry, I'll get some video of him dancing on the new one once it comes out.
I'm looking forward to that at Supercell.
Live from Supercell.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Because like with me, I sleep out of the back of my Bronco, so it's like me and my Husky, and I just throw blankets back there. Me and my dad built a little makeshift, like little shelving unit thing, but it's made out of wood. It doesn't really do that great. But that would be kind of ideal.
I get it. I mean, that's what people have done because there hasn't been an option for it. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the Ford box, it stands up taller, and then it's got so much gaps on the side and at the front of it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Down in there, and
so we made it to where it's pretty much the height. The lowest setting is the same height as what our lower wall panel is on the Slipstream that you just saw in that picture.
Yeah.
So that way, when you fold the wall down, it's more flat across. So if you've got the Slipstream also, now it's really almost flat all the way across.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, then, I will say we've had to take ours out for we had another competitor that we had to put something in our vehicle for a review.
The box.
Yes, the box that we won't speak of right now. And I will say it was interesting because we just installed it and never thought about taking it out again. But it was like, I think it was like a minute. We had the whole thing basically out of the vehicle.
Well, I wouldn't say it was a minute to take all of it out.
It was quick.
Maybe 10.
Well, we're kind of silly and take our time, but
That's
it was
true.
It was
but
quick.
It was very quick to take it out when we needed to take it out. So it definitely was not a difficult task.
Yeah,
and
that's one of the things.
You're talking about the whole system or the folding?
Yeah, we had to take the whole, except for
the wall, the top,
except for this upper part. We had to loosen that to be able to get the walls out.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to take that part off up here. But yeah, and honestly, we were a lot faster putting it back in because we knew what we were doing because we had just taken it out.
But
so
I do.
It was actually really
the beauty is you can take it out in sections.
Yeah. When I do preach that on this thing is if you're going to Home Depot for some reason you get that phone call, hey, I need this large item. You pull it out, set it to the side, and take your stuff home, and then 10 minutes, as Kelly says later, you put it right back in, and you're secure to go again.
Yeah, like I brought a 70-inch TV home from Best Buy, and it was before we had the Slipstream. But it would have been nice to just be able to have to take the panel out. Versus, whatever else it could have been. But yeah, for the record, 70-inch TV box does fit in the 4-door Bronco. It's just, you got to sit your seats forward a little bit and it's a little snug, but it does fit.
Right. Super Bowl's coming up. I
had to do the same thing.
I have an old picture from like 2017, 2018, when I had to go to Home Depot and get 8 10 by 12s. To work in my garage, and I took my Jeep, and the guys there were going, where are you putting it? And I said, right across the top. So I had the hard top off, I had the Slipstream on, I laid the middle seats down, I folded the passenger seat, I reclined it all the way back so it was below, and I put the front of all the boards sitting on the dash, and it was almost flat all the way across the back and sticking out about 7 or 8 feet on the side of my rear tire. And, I only live like 4 miles from Home Depot, but
right.
I had my son, all he did was, being in the back, he just he had his hand on it just so they didn't slide off. But it's that strong to hold that much weight and everything. It was quite impressive.
Yeah, and as you can see in this photo here, everything's out except the exoscale of it, which doesn't get in the way of anything. So if you definitely need to, to get it, and there it is. And this is the feature that I like. If you got something long, just something long, plants, whatever that's just long, you need to kind of put through the vehicle. It's lockable, as you can see right here, and it just flops down, and then you've got added space if need be.
The way I came up with that was two things. Was after we started doing the wall, and this is back in 17 going into 18, and I wanted to look at how do you get more use out of the vehicle. And it's like, well, if you've got folding rear seats, you need a folding wall. Yeah. Nobody has that. Everything is just a box
or solid wall. Yeah.
And so what I did was I came up with it sucked was I did a production run of 100 full kits with the new folding center wall panel. And I was like, yay, it's so great. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, there's a 60-40 split seat. And everybody here in Utah has at least 2 kids and they all go skiing. And it's like, well, if we do an access panel on the small seat side, skis, snowboards can go through and you can still have 2 belted people in seats in the big seat.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Well, and also here, everybody, you can see this in the photo. This is what I was talking about. There's no way to unscrew anything from the outside.
And that was huge props that we got at the Dream Cruise when people were going around.
We had this open at the Bronco Nation booth, and I think we had more of a crowd around ours than a lot of people had. And it was honestly, and I'm not bragging on because Alan's here, because I would brag on Alan no matter what, but people, once they saw that, because I had the top open where people could see, and once they saw it, man, we had a lot of questions about it. And
a guy that was asking 80 bajillion questions because he I don't think he even had a Bronco on order. Him and his dad were just like dreaming about it. Like it was funny. But they were like, oh, that
they should go ahead and pre-buy these boxes so when they get them.
We've had people order the kit before their Bronco was going to arrive.
Well, I don't know
it was ready.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. Well, you guys, you're always offering, certain specials, and so it's nice that if you like, especially at Christmas, I know you guys had a good deal there. It's nice to be able to jump in on that, and you can put your box together sort of, and imagine the rest of the Bronco that goes with it, I guess.
Well, I'm just because this is the world we live in, everything keeps going up.
Yeah.
I mean,
is what it is.
3 years ago, all my packaging, and you guys remember, Dave and Kelly, you guys remember all the packaging. It was $26 for all the foam and cardboard.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's now $55.
Oh,
wow.
That was one thing I told him when it.
Foam.
Yeah, that's one thing when I told him when it came in, because we've bought a lot of products over the years, and it comes in the packaging, and you sit there and go, oh man, I hope this wasn't ripped up. And when it comes in, but when your stuff came in, we were like, I told him, I was like, holy crap, this is done right.
What she's saying is you order something from 4-wheeler parts and you're liable to buy parts are from here to China, is basically. And there's no Chinese here. This is all American. Which I like, and I've often told our audience, I would rather deal with it might be just a hair more expensive, but I would rather deal with a company that's here that if I can contact. Alan literally put his phone number on his website. So
since you've said that, he may have changed it.
Maybe now he's like,
I'd rather have people call me. Had a woman call me today, and she was looking at some of the other stuff out there, and she had a lot of questions. She had a Jeep, and she had some aftermarket speakers, and our system, because of the size of the aftermarket speakers, it wouldn't work for her. And she was asking about, what could she do? And I gave her a solution on one of my demo products, and, I'm hooking her up with that, just to fit, because she only needed, small space to be able to put a purse, a backpack, a carry weapon, that kind of stuff. And that's important to people. And that's why we sell a lot to law enforcement, ex-military, drone operators, photographers. It's because of the amount of stuff or what they have that needs to be 100% secure. And what I tell people is this: I made my living for almost 40 years in aviation, military, government contractor, corporate aviation, doing everything from nose to tail on aircraft, aircraft mechanic by trade, up through, management and that kind of stuff. And the attention to detail and everything means a lot to me. I made my living with Snap-on tools. I started with Craftsman because that's what I could afford. But when it became my livelihood, I went with the best stuff. I tell people, if your budget only allows for this, I understand it. I totally get it. I've had people that run their, a Tuffy or something like that. And a couple of years later, they're like, now I'm ready to get yours. They get rid of the other version. It's no different than comparing a Wildtrak to an Outer Banks. There's a difference. It's relatively the same, but there's a difference. Same thing with a Rubicon to a Sport in the Jeep world.
Yeah,
it's
That's cool.
what's the functionality, and nobody has this functionality with the access panel, the folding removable top, the folding removable wall, and the ease of bolt in. There's no drilling, and all the accessories just marry up with each other perfectly with no modification at all. So
yeah, no, we've been very, very impressed with, and I remember talking to you early on. I was like, look, I will give an honest review of your product, and there was nothing like Kelly said a minute ago. The packaging was amazing. I've watched you on videos putting these kits together, man. It's like you guys got this little system going.
I watched him jumping on it and dancing on it.
But I'm very impressed, guys. Load your questions up. If you have any questions for Alan and Brandon, please let us know, and we'll get right to them. So what you got, Kelly?
I have one. Jason K says, will you have Molly panel for the 2-door window?
Once I get my hands on the 2-door and I can figure it out,
Right.
yes. It's just one of those. Can I back one into the shop and design
Play with
it?
it, yeah.
And it might be something where we attach the Molly if there's no way to do it to the roll bar. Depending on how the locker sits in there, maybe it's connected to the locker on the side
With a bracket of some sort.
with a bracket.
Well, with your Molly panel, the most important question is, can they still pop their beers open with the silly cap thing that's under the bar?
I couldn't tell you. It's about an inch.
I bet you could.
I do have something that a local company wants us to.
Yeah.
Brandon seems real excited about this.
White label too. So hold on.
It's kind of funny. We did this install of a floor in a search and rescue vehicle, and he goes out almost every weekend, and he's got the Milwaukee pack outs, and I don't know how much stuff he pulled out of that Jeep, but we had it lined up around the whole shop. And
is this the guy that you had at East Tennessee?
No.
That was Mando.
That was Mandalorian. This guy's even 3 times that.
Yeah.
He's a former cop that does all of he's got a sewing business, and he does all of our soft cover wraps and everything because it's tactical gear, military spec material. And he works still with the local police force, and he carries a $15,000 drone. It's super cool. Yep. It's like, if I get a drone, I want that one. It's got so many cool things, FLIR, night vision, all kinds of stuff. But they went up and did a search and rescue to find an avalanche victim. And he carries a tent. He carries a heater. He carries a compressor. He carries...
there's so much stuff.
So much stuff. And because of what he does in still making and designing plate carriers for law enforcement military contracts, the engineering company and firm that he's working with doing it, he came up with this whole pack, which is really cool.
Oh, cool.
It's mostly 3D printed stuff, but it's all these different kind of straps that have buckles,
clips,
hooks, clips, even this spider web to be able to 4-corner something down with using these straps, and they all fit inside the Molly panels. Be able to use the hooks to connect to the tie-down rails on the side. It's just really cool, all the different stuff, because of all his years of doing law enforcement and military contract work with the design of this stuff.
Well, Alan, I have a question for you. I know I seen this in East Tennessee on the Jeeps. And I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Are you guys doing the extended for the slipstreams? Are you guys doing this for Bronco?
So yes, and yes. So here's the caveats with that. If you have a hard top, the raised top works perfectly right now. The problem with the soft top is the size of the side hooks.
Yeah.
They would hit the sidewall. Because if you notice the paddle latches on your side latches, you guys have a hard top or soft top?
We're soft top.
We're soft
top. So about a half an inch of the paddle sits on the folding top.
Mm-hmm.
When it's locked in place. It's like a perfect fit. The problem is that would hit the sidewall because the raised tops are the same height as or the same width as the folding top. So it sits in the same frame system. So that's why one of the things that I started looking at doing is, can we develop and make it out of billet aluminum instead of plastic? Can we do a billet replacement hook that also changes that tab to maybe a pull down ring that's not as deep?
Yeah.
And if we do that, that makes it better. And it allows for this, because we're always trying to innovate based on what we hear, how people use their vehicle. And one of the coolest things about that raised top is once we went modular with it, with the sidewalls, and that's actually the old style because it's square. Yeah. We actually went angled because of more of the JL roof on the Jeep is more of an angle. The fastback tops work with the 4-inch, not the 8-inch, because the 8-inch stands up too high. But when you flip that rear panel, because we've got the ability and we figured out doing it with the slide floor, we've added slides to the sidewall. So now you can have full width slide out trays in the top.
Yes. Nice. And that's kind of where I was trying to figure out. I don't see it at the moment.
Oh, we had a picture online of that.
I thought we had mine in there. It might not be on the website.
Yeah, but I seen them in person, and having the slide out tray upper deck too was kind of cool. That for your tool, keeping your tools separate, maybe your camping gear under that.
So in a 4-inch top, you can do one tray, and it's full width, so it's like 32 inches wide, 24 deep, and you can do that. And then on the sidewalls on the 8-inch, we did PEM nuts in 3 heights. So you can do one tray at the bottom and have a tall tray, or you can put one based on if you've got a taller fridge, one at the very top, or you can stack them and put 2 of them in.
Yeah. Another thing, I like the Molly integration, and I have this, and we just haven't installed it just yet. But I like how you have Molly like everywhere, or you can attach more Molly panels to it. Because I've seen like your maybe your air up hoses or whatever, you just zip them to it. It's out of the way. It's not flopping around everywhere, which is very nice. And actually, I never paid attention to the price, but actually not a bad price on that. Here you can see it with their slide. They're kind of the slide out deal. That's really nice.
Yeah, you can tell that's our prototype. We were having a hard time getting the engineering right on where the PEM nuts went. So it's like, let's just drill a hole in the side and put a bolt in it, just to figure it out.
But very, very modular. Everything about this is very modular. Once again, you can see it flip down. So if you've got something that needs to go a little bit further, you got all that space yet. You're not losing out on anything, which is where I'm like it a lot. What's our next question you got, Kelly?
I actually have one. Do you have anything going for the center console, like a center console bolt or something? He's already smiling.
I haven't. I get asked that, and there's a couple of companies that already make stuff like that. A lockbox is a lockbox in a set height and everything. I can't really make anything that makes it different.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that guy that makes one that just like everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because you can. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I can. I'd rather focus the effort on what's some of the other areas that people would use.
Okay.
Hey, what else we got, Kelly?
They're talking about speakers.
And they're also
Everybody's still
talking
on that.
about
One guy asked the question. He goes, "Didn't anybody buy a Lux package?"
Right.
Yes, I got a
Yeah,
Lux.
they started talking about the speakers.
The sound is great, but the radio screen for having to reconnect to my CarPlay all the time, that's
Yes.
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are loving it. So I will say that they are having conversations, but they are loving it.
Nike Jason K says,
Thanks,
thanks for
Jason.
Diabolical for answering his questions.
Night, Jason.
Night, Jason. Jim Bob, Mary Ellen. You guys are too young for that.
Dave, I sent
no,
you,
I
sent you
remember
a-
the Waltons. I'm older than you think.
I sent you a CAD video of that locker of how that wall and that top comes off.
Okay.
It's only like 15 seconds, but it's
Problem is,
cool.
y'all keep sending it to the wrong email.
Oh, send me
They
the
don't
right
know.
email and I'll send it to the.
Yeah, give him the right email. Mark Asham and I actually know. Well, maybe not. I don't know this answer because I was thinking of something else. So Mark Ashman says, "Is the Bronco Slipstream security enclosure compatible with the Ford slide-out tailgate?"
So I want to say yes. I haven't seen one in person to see how it's. I don't know how the forward bolt on that goes in because we have nothing on the floor connected in the way for that plastic piece of slide out. I'll just call it that plastic piece of slide out. I don't know where it bolts, if it bolts to the rear side of the D-ring or to the front. But if you can take the picture of my lower wall panel in one of the pictures of the 4-door Slipstream, zoom in on the D-ring. That way he can see we have that very small bracket. Yep, that would be a good one on the right on the passenger side. If you zoom in.
No, yours.
Alan, if you want the instructions, I can send them to you because I have them.
Okay,
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's also being able to see then how the plastic sits. You know how big the unit is, because my wall that you see right there, that lower wall panel that makes it the mounting point, and then the side wing wall is attached to it. We use the forward bolt, but it's a very small bracket that comes up underneath and outside the plastic, that little plastic cover for the D-ring. So it is sitting right at that very front edge of that D-ring plastic is my wall going vertical. So as long as it's not going more forward than that, that's what it would be.
Nice. Thank you for that $9.99 super sticker.
Yes,
Executive
thank you,
Black.
Executive Black. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I will say the one thing we did notice with yours that we could not put in the Tuffy drawer with that bottom bracket in. That was the one thing. It does sit a little further back. They're using just the exact same space you are on that.
Yep.
But I would rather, honestly, the drawer system was nice, but I would rather have the open cargo area I can adjust to my needs, not to basically what I'm given.
Yeah. Yep. And the thing that's nice that you can see in this picture, besides my scratches in that plastic, it's like I put one thing in and it's like, is that you have full width. I mean, there's nothing intrusive with sidewalls or anything that restricts you. So it's nice to be able to put a full set of golf clubs in the back. They fit perfectly, and just having access to your storage bins in the back still. It's just nice. And the plug-in and the LED light, everything's still functional.
Yeah, what'd you have there, Kelly?
So I know the answer to this one, so I can actually answer this one. William Lane says, I have a question about the Slipstream. Does it get in the way of the tire change kit in the floor and storage area? Nope. Because as you can see, the floor is wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't mount anything to that.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, where some of the competitors use some cage in here to do it, it's all in the way. Yeah, there's not. I mean, because we actually use that little cargo area quite a bit.
And to be honest, it surprises me how many people just bolt stuff in without taking into account the functionality of what comes from the factory.
We see a lot of that in the Facebook groups where people are just excited and they buy parts. And, I get it. I've done the same thing, just buy things before I actually see it in person. Yeah, and then we'll see these questions. Well, how do I get into here? Well, how do I do this? And you're just like, well, kind of should have thought that one out a little bit.
Well, I know you can't see it in the background, but on the wall, on the side of the Sprinter van, we call it our wall of shame. We have a Tuffy unit, we have an Aries unit, we have an Easy Trunk unit that were all sent to us that people are like, all right, I'm buying yours. And they sent it to us to show, be able to show people the differences and stuff.
Yeah.
That question. I think that might be locker.
Any plans for Molly sidewalls instead of smooth? About the 2-door locker
Or the Ridgeback. Because the Slipstream it doesn't have sidewalls.
Yes,
right?
Slipstream for the
but
4-door doesn't have sidewalls. So I just need to know that question or answer to that question. Are you asking about the 2-door locker or Ridgeback for the 2 doors? Because those have sidewalls.
We'll hold on to that question.
Yeah,
see if we
and
can get an answer.
definitely, guys, reach out to Alan in a normal business hours, of course. But reach out to Alan; he will talk you right through.
I answer
everything.
my phone anytime.
But don't tell people that, Alan.
Monday through Friday.
Can we
8 to
bleep
5.
that
How
out?
about that?
Yeah.
So one thing, if you go to the picture that shows the sidewall on the locker, the 2-door locker,
2-door locker.
it was 2-door locker. So the one thing that I've done, if you look at that picture, is because the plastic, this is where people, think about how things go in. At the top of the 2-door, it's got those bulges that stick out about 1.5 inches in the plastic sidewall. So we tuck the wall in flat past that. So it's sitting recessed in and over those side upper blocks. So one of the things that we might look at doing is maybe making that a molly wall.
Yeah.
With the holes in it on the sidewall.
Well, we do that like we did with the Sprinter van upper deck.
Or we do a separate panel that you would just rivet on that would stick out a little bit. So that way you've got room to loop stuff through it, because this is going to be pretty close to the plastic wall because we wanted to get it over.
Yeah.
So it's actually got better security and function over that plastic bulge.
Yeah.
You can see just a little gap right there, and that's really it. Everything else is pretty tucked in there. But no, and guys, this is why Alan likes talking with you guys, because you do sometimes think outside the box. Where I know it. I know as an engineer who has to like get hyper focused on projects at times. Sometimes you're so hyper focused on something you don't think of this. So when you guys bring these great comments, it sparks some ideas.
Because like if you look at that picture, one of the first things, our first iteration of it, it was all just where the PEM bolts would come through was just the holes in the 90-degree bend. And with the seats up, it was hard to get those in, without scratching it all up. So we actually changed the holes to open slots. So the bolt just slides right down in, and then you lock it in place.
Are these I don't know what you call these little nuts here, the little hand grips. Is that something that you're going to put on the Slipstreams for the 4 doors as well, or is this just completely different?
Completely different, because when you're doing the folding top, I would have to change the folding top, because the folding top on a Slipstream, if you notice it for rigidity, has 90-degree bends down, comes down 1 inch, and then back in 1/2 inch to sit on the frame. That's structural. So that's what gives it its rigidity, that you can put 150 pounds on top of it. If we go to a flat panel, you're going to get some bowing, and then we'd have to do some I-beam, some little ridges underneath, which can be done, but then you're changing a lot more. So you're changing the side frames, you're changing the vertical frames to fit that. And then how do you lock it into place when it's down? So it's just one of those things that we do kind of look at.
Micah Ritchie says, I have the Slipstream in my Bronco. It's awesome. Alan is super helpful. Yes. So it's not always questions, Alan. Sometimes it's kudos, because we did have a couple of those that we had in the chat tonight.
Well, and so here, this is a good question, and I can't hide from it. We every once in a while have noticed a little bit of rattling from these the the D-rings. So Tim Hutchison, Kelly, what is he asking?
He said, how can I deaden the sound of the pins for the slipstream? I have been using cloth wire tape to wrap the pins to make them a bit more secure in the holes, which I know we talked about before the show tonight.
Okay, good question. I've been dealing with this for a few years. So, and the reason why we haven't changed is this. So it's more, the Bronco people are kind of new to this. So the Jeep people for years, they'll pull the carpet out of their back end and they'll Line-X everything. So Line-X is thick. So some people then Line-X the slipstream. So it's all the same. So you're going to close the diameter of that hole. So, and because you want to allow for the deviation in manufacturing for bend radiuses, you might be a 1/16 of an inch off on a downward bend, and that changes the hole location for those pins to line up. So we oversize the holes. That allows for better fitment at all times. So you're not struggling to get the pins in and you're having to drill it because then you're taking the powder coat off, which could lead to oxidation, which you don't want. So an easy thing to do is make sure you do the hard rubber strips first that are peel and stick, 1/8 inch thick hard rubber. Put those on first, put your pins in. If the pins go in relatively tight, what's moving that you're hearing the rattle on is actually the pin clip. We can't do anything about the pin clip moving, but what you can do is where the pin clip goes through the end of the pin, either take some RTV sealant and squeeze it in the hole. That'll help hold that pin. Or where you see them all hanging down, go get some little bungees with the little hooks that are cheap from Home Depot, Lowe's, or contact us, send us an email. We were playing around last year and we sent a thing out to, unfortunately, China, just to get a couple of hundred of these different size Velcro straps. And if you do this where you connect these between the pin wire clips and hold them tight, rattle's gone. And if you do still have a little bit from the pin movement, add the soft squishy peel and stick foam on top of the hard rubber, takes it up.
Yeah. And I will say also, and I'm not going to beat up on that last question because that's a great question, but at some point everyone needs to realize, and I know Bronco people, there's a lot of new people to off-road vehicles. You have to understand you're adding things to somebody else's manufactured product. There's tolerances. Alan's building his to a certain tolerance. Sometimes Ford's tolerances change just ever so slightly. Plus, you're taking a vehicle where if you're on bumpy roads and stuff, the body's shifting all the time. Everything's moving. In 5 years, I guarantee if you off-road that vehicle, it's going to rattle like crazy. That's just what I've had. Lots of Jeeps and I've had lots of off-road vehicles.
My Jeep does.
I'm not saying get used to it, but if you truly use these things for what they're intended for, you're going to hear. You could never do a thing to it, and you're going to eventually hear some rattles.
Sure. The only thing that I would say to people is, contact us if you need different foam. We put that on the website, not different foam, replacement foam, or just go to Home Depot and get a little bit thicker, peel it, stick it on. Don't do the plastic. People in the Jeep world a couple of years ago were looking at doing the plastic dip, and that stuff. Every time you put that in and out, it's going to peel it off. And it just makes a mess.
Or the heat shrink
tube. Same thing. Then you're going to be struggling putting the pin in because you can't get the tip of it through the hole because you've got too much. Yeah, I know. I didn't go there. I saw that look.
You missed the smack on the leg.
I won't use hand signals anymore. But
I knew where he was going with that.
I didn't say a word.
And that's the thing is we need to make sure, because in manufacturing, when you're doing, and like we do 100 kits at a time, and that's 2,600 parts that somebody's standing at a machine and doing the die press and everything. Ford, when they do it, they're doing hundreds of thousands at a time. So you're going to get some slight deviation in the bending, and like I said, a 32nd of an inch, a 1/16 of an inch makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. And we try and make up for that by giving the two different types of hard rubber to put in first and then see how it goes. Because I guarantee it, Kelly and Dave, when you first put yours in, that top pin in the wall, that was hard going in, wasn't it?
It was really hard.
And
he had to get on top of it.
That's the squishy foam. You really have to push that in at the corner to get that pin in. but after time that squishy foam will hold its shape.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to go in and out.
Yeah. We definitely have experienced that for sure. So Steel Bronco said, just looked at their website. Does it fit the Bronco Raptor? So I know we talked about the Molly panels, so it does fit the slipstream does. Good.
So the only thing that's different on the Bronco Raptor is you've got that added crossbar that's lower on the roll bars. So all that means is when you want to fold that first panel, the rear panel up, instead of it coming up to about like that angle and sitting on the speakers, because the speakers are in the way, you're going to be sitting on the roll bar. So all you do is when you need to take that top off, you're just going to pull all 6 pins and pull the top out. But everything, the fitment, everything, there's nothing on the Raptor that hinders any of the fitment of the slipstream.
I have a question from a friend who's watching the show. Mr. Dwayne Cotton there has he said on the sport bars of the Molly, on the side sport bars of the Molly panel, what about the early? Read that.
Stop drinking.
I know.
I don't have my glasses on.
He's getting old. On the side sport bar Molly panels, what about the early builds that didn't have the mounting holes? Or mounting holes, excuse me.
So they did probably for this one right here.
You're just shit out of luck.
No, to be honest,
to
be honest, I would seriously, they make rubber straps. Aircraft is great because, and you can find these online. I mean, I've done a search for it before for rubber coated straps that you could put around your roll bar that it's got 2 flat tabs that go down, and that's where the bolt goes through, and then it comes out and comes around a pre-shaped piece. And you can do that around the roll bar and then put a bolt in for that if you don't have it.
Which you could probably do for fire extinguishers and everything to mount them that way.
Yeah, like I was thinking like shovels for camping and overlanding and all that too.
Yep. So it reminds me of one of the things that we did that's kind of, it's not on the website, but if you bring up a picture of the rail rack, we have them in 4.5 inch and 7.5 inch widths, full length. Yeah, you probably go to, no, they should be in the Bronco. Yeah, because it's the same thing. This is where we listen to people and how they, and Brandon was one of them, that mounted a compressor with a spare tank on the rail rack that, originally it was for high lift jacks or power tanks. So that bolts to the side tie down rails. So looking at that, we actually made for the law enforcement search and rescue guy, we actually made one that is full depth front to back of the whole rail rack. So it's about 20 inches deep, full width,
38 inches wide,
like 38. And that allows him to do the Milwaukee pack out, the stacking packs. He carries that stuff with him. So he actually mounted 2 pack mounts side by side on it. Now he does multiple stacks, and it sits on top of bolted to the side tie down rails, and you can still pull the folding top out from underneath it.
Okay,
nice.
So it's basically, if you took that right there and you made it that big, that's what we did.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
And that was just listening to somebody else going, hey, I want to do this with the pack outs. I got too many big bags and everything that I need to carry all the expensive stuff underneath, my drone, compressor, really generator. He had a generator, gas generator.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. He carried everything in his Jeep.
That's a heck of something to travel with.
Yeah. We saw people that were like drilling into the top of their folding top and then mounting stuff directly to the folding top. We're like, oh,
stop.
Don't do that.
Stop doing that. We'll fix it.
Let me come up with something else. Make it better. It's simpler. Don't drill a hole. And that thing is beautiful. It's aluminum. You see it's got a 90-degree down bend front and back. Gives it all the rigidity that it needs. Simple little
cool.
things like that. Keep the design simple. It's got nut plate channel that's on the inside. So you're putting the bolts in and the nut plate is holding it in place. So you don't have to put a wrench on the inside when you're putting the star bit bolts in it.
Don't get motion sick, folks. I'm trying to find the spot that shows it. There you go.
Well, guys, bring your final questions or comments for Alan and everybody. We do greatly appreciate them coming on. And
so I have a question about the mole panels for the roll bar. How much weight does that hold?
We haven't tried it yet, but it's because you can put over 150 pounds on the slipstream itself. This being bolting to,
stout.
I mean,
I know he's like trying to bend it.
You're not bending this. Trust me, I've seen
You
some.
couldn't put anything heavy enough on there to bend it.
Yeah.
yeah, well, you gonna put a kitchen sink on there, Allie? What are you trying to do?
No, I'm just thinking like just like camping gear wise, like how much can hang between like camping gear.
Are you
Oh
taking
my
a
God,
crock? Are you
stuff.
taking a crock pot, steel crock pot?
Right?
Cast iron.
Yeah, I need my cast iron.
You
skillet.
never know.
She's from Michigan. They don't use cast iron up there. That's a Southern thing.
I have one. I literally have never used it.
I was gonna say I don't know how to use it, and I've lived here for 20-something years.
Well, so funny you say that because like my friend just posted a picture that her husband's dad like had washed it and like took off.
Big
Yeah,
trouble.
see, I didn't know that was a thing. So I look at the picture. I'm like, okay, cool. He did the dishes. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, or put it in the dishwasher. Like people lose their Everlove. That's 20 years of seasoning on that thing. Like you're just like, okay.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
So Bronco Dude said, that looks great. I absolutely love my slide out tailgate, and I can vouch that the slide out tailgate is a game changer.
Well, I'll say it's cheaper than, I know last week we were talking about the Ford tailgate, which I think is cool
$1,300.
Yeah, but I know Alan reached out to me and was like, dude, mine is a lot cheaper. And I was like, I know, I just have to talk about these things. but it's not as useful. Yours, think about it. Yours, you can slide out. You can put all the gear behind it. If you need to use it as a tabletop for overlanding, you have a lot more tabletop.
His is a lot more multifunction than anything.
Yes.
Yeah. And Allie, you can answer this question. With that trail table from Ford, do you lose access to the underfloor storage?
You do.
See,
there you go.
To me, it's like, why lose it? Because to me, if you're going to put something in like that, like our drawer system, where you're probably not going to be getting in there much. And if you do oversized tires and you do a lift, the factory jack's pretty much worthless. Yeah. Take it out and put, that's where you'd mount compressors, things like that, to where they're out of the way. You're not getting to it. You run your hoses up on the sides, which is, great places to be able to mount that stuff to the slipstream. But that way you're using that space still. And then you're using the slide out drawer or it as a fridge for a full slide out. We're going to have it to where you're going to have the ability to, coming down the road, would be stacking drawers.
Right.
That's awesome.
Which makes it cool. So you could do a 5-inch drawer, 5-inch drawer, and then mount another slide on it to be your fridge slide out. So you got the best of both worlds.
You have a drawer.
Yeah.
So, and that's based on how you use your vehicle. The overlanding crowd is different. So Tim Hutchison, what are you asking for?
I think it was the Molly, for the sport bars, the Molly panel.
Or maybe even all of it. We know the slipstream's available.
So
when will the slide out?
The slide floor, the drawer top, the locker, and the Molly panel for the roll bar will all be available before the end of this month. We just got to get the updated pictures now that we got them powder coated to our website guy. He's just got to list everything on there. That's it.
Yeah.
So we really want to be able to help people get into the spring by having this done. So, and yes, we will be at Winter 4x4. Come see us.
You better say you saw him on All Terrain Nation.
Yeah.
Yes. Slade the Blade. Definitely.
William Lane says, my coolers get heavy with beer and ice, so it's super important.
Yeah, you guys find those out, man.
I mean,
400
priorities here.
400-pound slides, I think.
I'll be honest, our softball gear gets heavy.
Well, and that's what I was going to talk to Alan about. That was, man. I mean, the back of the Bronco in the summertime's always got our daughter's softball gear in it, and the ability just to slide it out, because it is a pain in the ass to try to shove all that stuff in there,
make it fit,
shut the door quickly, like hoping everything, like this way you can stack it and just push it in there and you're good to
G. Willikers says, any thought of building rooftop accessories to pair up with the factory racks? I see a smile on Brandon's face again.
That was actually my next question.
It actually comes down to, again, getting one of those vehicles in. It would be a lot easier if I had my hardtop on mine. So
we
tell us how you really feel without telling us how you really feel.
Alan, trust me, man. You're better off without it. You trust me.
But for business purposes.
and yeah,
they can't see the one on the Sprinter, can they?
No.
So if you're in the Utah area and have a hard top,
actually
reach out to Alan
with the roof rails.
With the roof rails. Sorry, he needs some. He needs.
So here's kind of just to give you an idea of how I think about how things go together and function. So this is a roof rack that we do for the Sprinter van because it's got a U channel in there. So everybody in the whole manufacturing world makes a bracket that's an L bracket or it's angled. Mm-hmm. And then the crossbars
come across it.
Sit like that. Okay, what's the problem with that? When you put a lot of weight up there,
it's gonna bend.
It damages. People don't realize this. It does this every day. So what I did was I looked at that. So this U channel, this is actually the outer wall right here. Where this bends is where the bolts go down into your rail. And then with this extra vertical right here, this is where your 80-20 crossbars sit on this. And then the bolts come in. Takes the stress off of the bolts.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I've designed it for a modular roof rack for the Sprinter van. We'd be able to do the same thing, looking at how, we could do an attachment to the factory bars themselves. How do we do that kind of thing? Or is it I hate the idea of drilling holes in tops, but in the Jeep world, that's what they do. They all do it. The other thing that I'm worried about, and I would tell people to seriously look at this is an issue with the JLU Jeeps that came out in 2018 is this, I hate to say it's almost the same quality hardtop in the Bronco, is it's thinner plastic. Mm-hmm. It's not as thick as that really thick fiberglass that was the JKUs, because I have a JKU, and there's no inner bracing required when you do bolting of roof racks to it. But once they came out with that new softer, lighter weight, easier to lift up hardtop, which having a Bronco hardtop, it's pretty light. Because when you can lift it up and go, yeah, this ain't so bad. You got a light one. There has to be integrated bracing on the inside. And Rhino Rack does that, and their actual mounts for a Jeep actually go from the inside down the sidewall, bolting in to the sidewall. That's how much bracing has to go in the new hardtops on the 2018 and newer Jeeps. So it's kind of like seeing that same thing on the Bronco hardtop with how do we make it strong? Because people say they'll only put so much weight on top, but guarantee it, there's going to be people that go, look at me, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In an Instagram picture showing where they're at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And here's a big fan of Diabolical Seeker, which I know we were in competition to who could get one first. But what has he got there, Kelly?
Seeker Bronco says, speaking of hardtop, FYI, the front two hardtop panels, while in the bag, will fit into the slipstream both inside or on top of the folding top.
Nice.
No.
Yes.
Good to know,
the doors don't fit on the inside,
right,
because of the width, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, who wants to go off-roading and everything?
That's the goofiest, most weird sales pitch ever.
Well, it's funny because I thought it was a cool idea, and then as I started to think about the practicality of it, I'm not putting my doors in the back of my truck.
Let's beat the shit out of our aluminum doors.
That's the thing. I'm with you, Kelly, because the point I've had to make to customers, I'm like, okay, how often is the back of your car clean? I can tell you right now, my dog's dog bed is back there 24/7. I am constantly going shopping or doing something. Yep. Nothing is gonna fit back there, especially if the top is off and the door. Like it's not realistic. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's a cool concept, but realistically, it's not going to happen.
One of the things that I've also done, because I'm like a kid in a candy store when I go to the retired cops shop, because there are so many cool sized bags and stuff, and
I love bags.
It's all made really well. None of it is vinyl. It's all 500D ripstop Cordura nylon and mil spec straps and everything. I'm like, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's that? Oh, what I'm serious, and it's a pile
again.
It's a pile everywhere. But I'm sitting here looking. He's trying to talk to me, and I'm not making eye contact because I'm looking around. So I had to give it back to him so he could make, because they lost their dimensions. They wrote down on it. We actually made, and we're going to be showing it, and we'll send pictures online and everything from this winter 4x4. But I want a bag. I know there's a bag out there already, but I wanted my own bag that's not vinyl. Yeah. So it's actually got not hard sided, but it's plastic. It's soft sided with some thickness in it. Mm-hmm. And it's a zip bag, so you can put the soft top rear panel in it and then put your side panels in it, zip it up, and it fits perfectly behind the wall and the angle of the seat. And what else you can do with it is, if you don't have that room, by say you're throwing wet towels or any other stuff in the back behind the seats, it actually stuffs up between the roll bar and the soft top.
Oh, nice.
It stays up there. It fits in there nice and snug and tight, so you can have it up there. Don't worry about it if you got all your other gear and everything else down below. And you can still have the front of the soft top folded back, and it's still up there. It's so cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Let's see.
William just said, when the doors are off, they're in the garage.
Pretty much.
And Flo says, I will put the doors back there, but only to drive around the city. So I can see that. Like, if you leave the house.
Flo's in Chicago. I don't know that I'd even leave my doors back there. Sorry,
I love your town. If you come back and the doors are gone.
Right.
Or they leave the doors and take the Bronco.
Yeah, but you stop for dinner or something, you put the doors on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thought process.
No, but it's like what they were talking about. You can put the hard top, take the hard tops off.
Yeah.
Now you can take the hard top off. You don't have to leave it at home. Put it in the back. It's secure in the slipstream. No worries about it. You get out, it's cold, whatever, you want to put them back on. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because we've run into it with our Gladiator. It's like perfect sunny skies, and then all of a sudden it's a downpour, and it's like you have to run out, grab the Freedom panels and put them on and that. So yeah, it'd be definitely nice to have. But the way that we have our Freedom, they'd fly around in the back, so it's nice to know have a bag? Do what?
You don't have the Freedom panel bag?
No, we do, but in the Gladiator, there's nowhere to store anything. There's one place under a seat that you can store something.
Yeah, you have a whole truck bed. Yes, you do, for sure.
But then
Brandon's got a new Gladiator, so once we get past all the new Bronco stuff, we're taking a second look at Gladiator stuff.
Nice.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, they do the Bronco truck. I'm telling you.
Flo says, I never said I get out of the Bronco.
I tell you what, please put a Coyote in it. Please.
Yeah. Never going to happen, man.
It's not going to happen.
The emissions.
Stripping the 392s and the other V8s and everything.
Yeah, rumor has it the TRX is dead. There's
it makes me so sad because those are like one of my two favorite vehicles, or two of my.
I heard that about the TRX the other day. I didn't know they were putting that on the chopping block.
I think you'll see the new Hurricane engine in it. But guys, go over to diabolical.com, Diabolical Inc. Well, let's see, shop.diabolicalinc.com.
I put it in there because you can't.
It's pinned to the top. And just go check out what he's got, man. It'd mean a lot to us if you just go look at what Alan's got. I know, like I said earlier, there's cheaper options. Guess what? You get what you pay for with what Alan and them sell.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you go to Four Wheel Parts or any of these big manufacturers, they don't answer their phone when you call.
No, you're not going to get the support like you do with Alan in his shop.
So think about that. If it's $50 more, you're prepaying for Alan's phone service. You're getting that's the hotline.
Well, think of it this way: you're keeping my son employed.
There you go.
This is where he works every day, packaging stuff. So,
well, it's funny because when we were putting ours together, we did have a question, and Dave was like, "Oh, I think you texted him or something,
might
didn't
have.
you?
I think Alan
'Cause I don't
texted
think
us
you
and asked
called.
how it was going.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it was like perfect. It was the perfect timing because I think you were like, "Hey, how's it going?" And we were like, "Well, we actually
It's
do
like,
have
well.
a question."
Yeah.
But we didn't want to bother you yet because we wanted to kind of figure it out. And you
Yeah.
were like, "Oh yeah, this was something," and I was like, "Well, I just hadn't gotten to that part in the video yet."
Let me tell you, trying to film putting one of these together plus trying to assemble it.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
why I do the assembly because
Yeah.
I have the patience.
my
But
my
go
wife,
over.
my wife
go
told
to
me that she's like, I don't know how to use the tool. She goes, you need to have me do the installation because if I can do
As a
it,
rookie.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, I know.
Maybe we need to put Dave in there then.
Hey. See, what you do is you get Aly involved. Aly, I don't even know if Aly owns a toolbox. Aly,
I
you have
do
tools?
own a toolbox. I do. It's in my garage. Do I touch it? Not 90%. But see, I'm too stubborn to ask for help, though.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like,
get
I
it.
will figure it out. And if I ask you for help, it means I've done literally everything. Because I never
Aly's
want
like
to
a
bug
dude, then.
anyone either.
I'm surprised you don't go ask any of the mechanics at your dealership. Hey,
Only for electrical. I will not do electrical on my own car. Because
Good.
I don't want to fry anything.
Yeah.
He won't do electrical either. And you just run a line and make sure there's no breaks in your current. Like,
Well, and the thing
everything's
is,
fine.
well, it's hilarious when it comes to some of the Bronco accessories. Jen, one of our service advisors, who she does a lot of the write-ups for these, she'll come up to me and she goes, "Hey, we have a question. We don't think this is going right. Will you come look at it?" I'm like, "Yeah, hold on." Like, give me 2 seconds.
Well, see, for me, I guess because I've fixed things around the house because I have a fixing problem. I won't wait for this one to do it.
No.
So I do it myself. Like, I've installed a water heater. I've installed the garbage disposal replacement. I have done the dishwasher replacement. Like, I've done several different things over time. You helped with the dishwasher, but I still
my
did
balls are on the
unboxing.
table
I still
back
did
here
most
somewhere.
of the prep of the dishwasher. But like, because I don't have the patience to wait for him,
It's true.
So-
we would fight.
we would fight over it. So that's why we can't.
That says the thing that scares me when I watch stuff. Seth Fontenot, about people screw up grounding all the time.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm terrified. That's why I won't do
Because
it.
you can overload grounding studs, and you need to go to a grounding block.
Yep.
That's the aircraft guy in me. And also not using environmental splices, but using knife splices, and you
I don't
see
get
in decades of Jeep
Kinda
people.
crazy.
So
I'll just
Yeah.
be. I'm a Jill of all trades, master of none kind of a person. Like, I can do enough to be dangerous. But we had a problem with our hot tub install, and we paid a so to speak electrician to do it. And we could not get it. It kept popping breaker. And I had my friend who is an electrical.
He's a codes guy.
He's an actual code guy for the state of Tennessee. He came out, he opened up our box on the side of the house, and he said, "Did you do this?" And I said, "No, sir." And he said, "This guy was going to blow up your house."
He's gonna burn your house down.
I was like,
great.
Oh no.
He's like, and he didn't wire your breaker right. Like, he had too much load coming out.
Like 20 minutes he had us.
20 minutes he had us up and running, and this guy spent like 3 hours trying to figure out what was broken. So I don't mess with that kind of wiring.
Here's the best one that I've seen so far. Is there an ATN discount code? No, because Alan and them they're always discounting their products. So
yes.
If you call us up and ask questions, we'll give you a discount just for calling us.
There you go.
We do, and we don't publish it because we get people that call us directly anyways. We do have a first responder, law enforcement, military discount. We're also going to extend that out this year to educators. So it's just one of those things of constantly giving back. We know everything keeps going up. We want to be able to support everybody. I mean, I'm former military, so I believe in everything we can for military. And the law enforcement, I got law enforcement in my family too. So, it's just one of those things. So
is the requirement for military that you have to hear an automatic rifle go off in the phone? Like,
I say this tongue in cheek. I was in the country club with airplanes. So, Air Force. Yeah.
Air Force. Those aren't real military.
It's a 9 to 5 job.
Wow, Dave. Wow.
All
I
right,
didn't
guys.
hear it.
Well,
I was-
that's been our time with Alan. For I get in trouble with Alan.
late.
Go check out Diabolical. Once again, just check them out. You're gonna find that
Slade
you can
Slade
put-
the Blade and I need to talk, and Seth also, because he's an aircraft guy too. So
Yes.
Nice.
I like getting other aircraft guys' feedback because I think our quality control is pretty high in the way that it goes to design and function and stuff like that. So I like hearing from people like that. So
And you love to talk to people
Yes.
who are, really, really interested in the product.
Yes, please honor. He's not going to tell you this, but please honor Alan's work hours. Don't call him at 7:00 when he's supposed to be having dinner with his family.
That's right.
So
That's right. So, Alan, we will talk to you guys down the road. I'm sure we'll talk again before Supercell.
Yes,
maybe
sir.
get any of your secrets that you might have for there. And guys, once again, go reach out to them. And till next time, Alan, we will talk to you in a few.
all right, thanks guys.
Bye,
thanks,
guys.
guys. Have a
Bye.
good night.
Well, there you go. There was Diabolical, and Aly disappeared too. I don't know where Aly went, but I'm sure she'll be back. I know there was some questions about the Wildtrak issue. So if you have any questions, bring them forward. If Aly does pop back, remember
She said she had to restart her computer.
she works for Ford and cannot talk about this, but I can because I do not work for Ford. So if you do have any questions, the Warthog, yes, honest, that's my favorite airplane. That and the Corsair from World War II was my favorite airplane. But Kelly, Alan's such a fun guy. I don't think he knew how to. The first time we interviewed him, I don't think he knew how to take us a little bit. And
Yeah.
now, like, he's like, oh, I know these.
He's like, I know these people.
Yeah.
These people crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy,
They're
man.
cray
But
cray.
thanks everybody for asking questions on that. That's important for us to get more aftermarket manufacturers. They do watch these things, and there's some big fish that I'm trying to get, and they want to know that you guys are willing to talk to them. So thank you for asking all those good questions, and thank you for the super sticker.
Yes.
That was very nice. And hopefully we got all your questions fixed up. I want to get to the poll real quick because this is going to lead into the conversation. So where was it? All right. So the poll tonight was, does the Wildtrak being pushed aside, does that affect your order? And a whopping 89% said no. Even though I know we'll go ahead and end this, but I know there's so many Wildtrak people out there because they're just either Wildtrak for whatever reason or super vocal. Like, I'm a Wildtrak guy, but and I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the story that I ran Saturday, and we were first to break the official news of that. Just remember that. And I appreciate it. I got a lot, even on the forums, which sometimes can be nasty. Like they'll act like I don't know anything. There was a lot of good feedback in that, so I was happy about that, and we greatly appreciate. And there was a few that will stick up first from time to time, which I greatly appreciate that as well. Don't start fights about it, but thank you for sticking up for old ATN, and we'll get to Wildtrak. And I have some thoughts on this. I know Kelly, you haven't got to do too much time thinking about this, but. So we broke the story officially. Once again, officially, there's the whole blue letter coming out today that I did not want to publish because I didn't think it was proper to do that. But I did publish what it said, that Ford is trying to push people away from Wildtrak. And the only just speculation here, the only thing I can think of is that they're trying to maybe do away with Wildtrak. Now that sounds odd because once again, I just said a minute ago, Wildtrak seems to be, those people seem to be like, for whatever reason, they think Wildtrak is the pinnacle of the Bronco, which is, to me, it's not. It's under Badlands, in my opinion. Yes, initially at launch, you got everything basically except the sway disconnect, and you got carpet instead of
which is strange to me that it doesn't get the sway disconnect, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But ultimately, they didn't do anything to make it special. They ended up taking the option of the hard top. It made it an option instead of being a factory hard top with the Lux package. It just became suddenly now, we can't do hard tops, so let's just do soft tops. And now it's going to where it came out, that Ford's willing to offer you $2,500 to push your order into a Badlands, Big Bend, or Outer Banks. And they were very specific in saying Outer Banks, Big Bend, or Badlands. Now, what does that leave out, Kelly?
You love to bring this up, and it leaves out the base.
It leaves out the base, Black Diamond, and if they're pushing people away from Wildtrak, it's almost like I feel like they're starting to slim down.
Welcome back, Aly.
Yeah, welcome back, Aly. I do feel like once again, this is speculation, and I will ask Aly this. And once again, she can say what she can say or she can't.
And our information did not come
Yes.
from Aly, just very clear.
Yes, I believe it or not, I have multiple sources on this story, but I just feel like they're having to reboot themselves a little bit, and we got too many options. I said it from day one. They have too many options. It's confusing. I feel like they're trying to slim down those options. We know Big Ben was popular with dealers.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that. All the retail orders were Big Bens.
That's what started popping up all over the dealers.
I'll be honest. We initially ordered a Black Diamond, but I've probably only in locally seen 3 out of probably the 20 Broncos I've seen. And I do see quite a few Wildtraks floating around, but I can understand why, if it's a popular trim, why you can't build it is because you don't have the parts for it, man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, you can't spread the hard tops everywhere.
Right.
And I can see why it would force them to get rid of the base, because I've said it for a long time. Base and Big Ben are confusing. It's relatively almost the same build. And then if you add Sasquatch to it, it's like a whole nother, wow, what am I getting? Where am I saving any money really? So what do you see from your point of view? What do you see they might be doing?
We've talked about this offline, and I really do think
do we talk offline?
Do we? Do you see what I have to deal with every single day? And yet we're still married.
I know. You're a glutton for punishment.
16 years. Whew. Anyway, I really do think it is a way for them to go ahead. And I wonder, because the buildable vehicles that I am familiar with, having, my parents built custom vehicles over the years. So I do wonder if, obviously we know Wildtrak sounds like it's going away. It definitely sounds.
That's speculation, guys.
It's his interpretation of, it's our interpretation of what we've been provided information wise.
But if you do the math,
if you do the math, 1 + 1 = 1, or 1 + 1 = 1,
yeah.
2. But I do think that that's what's happening. But I also think it's going to come down to, and this would be the smart thing to do, because we've talked about why can you get all this stuff on all the multiple different trims? Mm-hmm. I almost wonder if we're going to hey, I want this sway bar disconnect on my Black Diamond. Hey, I want this. Thinking if they're going to allow almost an a la carte type of situation is what I am hoping for folks. But, who knows?
Why I don't see them doing that is because the Badlands is the equivalent of a Rubicon in the Jeep. You can't get sway disconnect in any other thing. And I think initially Ford was like, we're going to win a lot of customers over with the idea that they can get Sasquatch on.
Good night, Mountains to Metal. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, hey, Mountains to Metal. I know we want you on the next couple weeks. So we've already talked, but let's finalize that. We may have. I'll have to look at my calendar.
Can't keep up.
But I think the mistake that Ford did was doing way too much too quick. Too many options. It was confusing from the get-go. I remember the launch video going, I want a 2-door. I don't know what, which one Badlands sounds like the one I want. For me, if the base should never have a hardtop option. And guys, base people, I'm not trying to piss you off. And anybody, if you're the trim that I'm about to beat up on a little bit, it's not personal by any means. This is just from being in the industry for a long time, understanding I worked for the manufacturing side. I'm an enthusiast, like all of you are, of the Bronco. I try to do the middle ground of this. So this is where I'm coming from. The base should never get a hardtop option because you're selling it as the cheapest option. Okay. So, and I know 2-door base guys are always pissed that they don't get the soft top, but that's because of federal regulations. Right. They have to have so many 2-doors out there. Before they're allowed to offer that. And Ford knew from the get-go, we're not going to sell that many 2-doors to meet the requirements federally. But I mean, if aftermarket best top stepped up, and if you want one, yeah, it's like $2,000, but darn. So base to me should have been just no Sasquatch. It's a base. If it's a builder special. Now we know from the transfer case that blew up at Holly Oaks.
Yep.
Guess what? There is a difference between transfer cases from the advanced transfer case and the basic transfer case they're putting in that. As somebody for that builds the advanced commented in one of those videos from that manufacturer, commented and said, we don't build the one that blew up. Now, and then they were very polite about it and said, I don't know what their standards are.
Right.
It's a great system, I'm sure, but we do not build that. We build the advanced ones, and it's built for abuse. Okay, so you start getting into all these Sasquatch and all these lower trims. It's a mess.
You're adding heavy stuff.
Yes, Ford's created their own problems here. And I know I've tried to give Ford the benefit of the doubt many times. And I have people going, hey, man, you sound like an apologist sometimes. It's like, no, I understand both sides of what they're doing. But base, completely a base. Big bin, okay, I'll in my world, I'll allow the hard top to be an option for that. Still, I wouldn't
allow.
This is in my world. But I still wouldn't allow Sasquatch. Now you get in the Outer Banks where people want more plush features. Totally understand that. I want the plush and I want the big tires. Totally get that. But you're paying, you know what I mean? It's a stair step you're doing. It's not, because if you think about it from the Badlands, the basic mid package, whatever Badlands with Sasquatch, to a Sasquatch base, it's not a stair step. It's sort of a slide. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
No, and I get what you're saying, because other manufacturers, they allow, if you look in and I'm showing my age here, if you look at old build books of like what do they call them? They're not brochures.
Yes.
If you went to your dealer, let's just say back in the 90s, okay, if you
back in my day,
shut up. So you would look and say, okay, this vehicle, and you would go down the line and say, okay, this feature, and they weren't, this feature was called this, and it had just a little tweak to it. It wasn't like that. It was like, this feature was this feature. And you would look over the line. Is it available for the trim I want? And it would say, no, you'd have to go up to such and such trim to get it. So I get your thought process behind that, because that's what makes sense to manufacturers, and not having the plug and play for all folks.
And let me get to this real quick. So Badlands gets the 4.6 in the automatic non-Sasquatch. If I'm trying to do it soft memory, the 4.7, if you get the manual transmission, is standard, but you got to get to the Sasquatch for an automatic with the 4.7 gearing. Now, yes, you were go ahead and finish your story. I'm sorry.
I think that was my story.
Okay. Are you sticking to it?
Well, but what I'm saying, I guess, maybe I didn't finish. So, like, I think to your point, Ford did a lot too much too quickly and said, hey, everybody can have it. Everybody can have this, 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 and this. And I think you missed the opportunity to, like you said, build up to that.
Yeah.
Like, build up. And the catalogs you cannot get it on this one.
Yeah.
But you can get it on this trim or whatsoever. So I think
even like too many seat.
And I know I'm backtracking.
Think about it though. Too many seat options. You got marine grade, which we have, love it. You can get what they call leather, or like the base gets this. It's getting
Cloth.
it's a cloth or ish seat, and I think Big Ben is still a cloth. Like but it's different looking. Like Ford just spread themselves way too thin for this vehicle from the get-go. I personally would have done 3 options, but then you know what they did before the Bronco even got out? They start teasing a Raptor.
Yeah.
You're like, Jesus Christ, man. Like my mouth was watering for the Badlands. Now we all know what the Raptor is. Before we knew what the F-150 Raptor was, so you kind of knew what to expect.
Right.
And they threw more confusion into it. Then guess what? Oh, well, we can't do the painted roofs. I totally understand.
This is turning into a WTF.
Oh, it's
right?
total. I'm very upset by this. Totally understand. I literally rewatched my video today from a year ago talking about the painted roofs, because that was in 21. That was pushed to 22, which is 23. Which where are they at? Still don't see those painted roofs. And by the way, Jeep's just over there going, hey, we've got come to Papa. We've got all these things if you want it. Because ultimately, look of a vehicle sells the vehicle. And they sold things that they couldn't build. And that's the bullshit of this. And I love the Ford brand. Sorry, here comes Aly again. I love the Ford brand, but I just feel like they just oversold and oversold and oversold. And now that all that bullshit is coming to a head, and now they've got to make some hard choices. And that's where I think speculation, once again, that they start doing away with some trims, because they're not doing away with the Heritage. That's going to be a hit no matter what. It's at a good price point. Raptor's not going anywhere. And then, we got the Heritage Limited Edition. Once again, now those are small batch runs, but they're going to do that every year now. There's no way Ford's giving up this extra couple $10,000 on that one. I do need Kelly, give me a hug. I need that.
As I get in half of this conversation here, the only thing I will say,
did you change shirts?
No, same shirt.
Oh.
I just apparently can't use my computer or literally anything because everything just got fried. I don't know what the frick just happened.
I thought she changed her shirt too.
No, I'm wearing my Lone Star. Actually, I got this from Mike and Amy. It's Lone Star Bronco.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Nice.
It's their club. Okay, the only thing I will say, and this doesn't make it right, it doesn't do anything. Bronco has been the least hit out of all of this. So
here comes the Bronco apologist.
No. I will say, because everyone has waited for so long, it's little things here and there on some of the cars, like navigation. I delivered Lariats without Sirius XM. Wow. I'm sorry, you're spending $65,000 on a truck. Granted, yes, I like Sirius XM. I'm not
What's your station? What's your station?
Country, obviously, the highway.
Okay.
So it's little things like that they specifically have not tried to affect Bronco because people have been waiting for so long. And now again, I will find out tomorrow. I'm not commenting on anything that's going on, but honestly, I'm surprised that it's taken this long.
Yeah.
To be fully transparent, honest with it, it's one of those things. I was talking to my manager about it today. It's super exciting having Bronco, and I think Ford has a good thing. Unfortunately, we just didn't play our cards right, and now we're in this debacle, and it's one of those things. And it's we're just kind of waiting to see what Ford's next step is, because at some point, we're gonna have to give it up. Everyone had their chance to change orders, which sucks because I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn as hell. I want what I want, and I don't blame people for sticking it out. But unfortunately, now what do we do? Because if we gave the power back to the dealers, which trust me, we would love, Ford gives us a list of, okay, you can order this many edges with this package. You can order one titanium, you can do one ST, that kind of thing. And I mean, we're kind of back at that point saying, okay, this is what we're allowed to build. And unfortunately, it's just not the fully loaded ones that everybody wants.
Yeah.
And it's I tell people in many groups that you and I are in, Aly, together, is that people will come in and be like, why is this such a debacle? Why is this blah, blah, blah? And it was you have to remember that people come to bitch first, and they're not going to talk about how excited they are for their vehicles.
Unfortunately, you're gonna hear all the worst things over all the good things. There's no it's just like dealers. I'm sorry, you hear more of the bashing of dealers than you hear of the good dealers. I've bent over backwards for people, and I'll tell you right now, nobody hears about it.
Yeah.
But the one time that something was off, or they put wheel locks on my car and I didn't want them, or they're charging me over MSRP, you're never going to hear about that. So it's just so hard.
Slade the Blade knows what's up. Lithium all the way, bro.
I do have lithium also preset on. I have everything preset, just not rap. I'm not a rap person. I think it's trash. But
well, just tell us how you feel there, girl. Jeez.
I do.
You know what's happening at Supercell, right? You're gonna be rolling up from Supercell, and I'm gonna be bumping some rap in our our cabin. You just watch.
Miss
Do it.
Ludacris over here.
I do like my load. I do like.
I was listening to Ludacris today.
There's
Anyways,
some good Luda songs.
See, okay,
shake
you're
your money,
salvageable.
maker.
You're salvageable, Allie. Okay, got
Oh,
it.
good. Oh, good.
I don't know how you're from Detroit and aren't like 8 Mile Alley.
I don't know how she doesn't have guns in her hands at all times and just, everything I know of Detroit.
I do have guns, but just not that you can see.
One here and one here, right?
You just made Honest's
Yeah,
day when
you
you said
did.
that. He's already in love with
Perfect.
you. Now he's really in love with you.
Oh, good.
But no, Allie, so do you
This
see
is
a
what I
point where
need.
they could, do you see, and we're
This
talking
is
speculation.
Allie's opinion.
We're talking speculation. Do you see, because she honestly, believe it or not, dealers still haven't heard what we've reported on.
I've
do you see
screenshotted my like screen that I see every day to Dave and Kelly. There is still nothing to dealers.
Yeah. So
Thanks, Ford.
do you see a point though where they kind of have to slim the options down as far as models?
Absolutely. We've already done it on everything else. And like it goes in waves, like don't get me wrong, but there's sheets that we have to sign for almost everything saying that this isn't on your car. Like you're fully aware of that. And we're to that point, and unfortunately, like Ford kicked the can down as far as they could. And again, speculation of whatever's going to happen tomorrow. We're kind of stuck because it was nonstop emails and calls today and Facebook messages saying like, oh, I thought I could do this. I'm like, I don't know. Someone's getting fired because I don't know what's going on.
Which do you think, as a person who sells Broncos and loves Broncos, which do you think is the least popular model?
Diamond.
Don't judge my cider.
I'm not.
But I think
No. So which
I think it's Black Diamond.
I do too. I really do.
And it sucks because I think people kind of look past it for the most part. I think if they put vinyl floors in the base, I think the base would be more popular. But I do think people look past Black Diamond a lot. You
would think vinyl floors would be in a base because as
the
older cars, that was the cheaper option, not the more expensive option.
Yeah. I honestly think it should be in a base.
Yeah. But do you think that it looks like the pup's eyeing her.
She's like ramming herself against the door.
Man.
Either that or she has the cat. It's one of the two.
Oh no.
The cat won't mind.
It happens every day. It's fine.
But I'm of the opinion that too many Sasquatch options, and it's now coming to roost that's why Wildtrak. I mean, because that's the only thing Wildtrak has going for it. It was a standard Sasquatch package, and I hate when I see people in forums go, "I got the Wildtrak with Sasquatch," and you're like,
It's
that's
standard.
what it is. It's all it is. I mean, and people don't research it, but
good night, Slade.
No,
Tell Alan we said hey.
The thing is, like, I don't think people researched them. I do think there were a lot of options kind of from the get-go, but I think there are a lot of options to try and deter people because Ford knew kind of what was going to happen. I don't think they knew to this extent what was going to happen. Yeah. So they were trying to divvy everything up, but if you let everyone order a Lux package at the same time, everyone's going to order a Lux package saying, I want everything tech. Because, I mean, if you're spending this money, I don't blame you. Like,
think about when the reservations came out with the pandemic, it was the perfect storm when people had all this money, nothing to do. I want the best of the best. Yep. People didn't go, they weren't thinking smart and being like, this is what I can afford. There was, I want everything. We don't live till tomorrow. I want everything.
I mean, I see that every day. No one does that.
I know, but it was the, how many campers
they were getting free money, and people were just
we
going
told
haywire.
them to keep ours, so we didn't have to pay for it later.
Yeah, the one we did. But camper sales were through the roof. Everything was through the roof. As far as outdoors, people were tired of being stuck inside.
Well,
I will say I am still
to get out of their house too.
I'm still super annoyed that you have to book camping like 6 months in advance in Michigan because everyone now again found camping. Listen, Let the people who were camping before, let us just go in the woods. Y'all go somewhere
How are you gonna
else.
prove it? How are you gonna prove it, Aly, that you did it before?
Pictures. I don't know. Pictures.
Anna said, Dave, keep it up and I'll put you in my will. LOL.
Aw, just your whiskey. I want the whiskey. That's it. So Seth says I ordered it because I didn't want the sway bar disconnect. I wanted the Sasquatch in the Lux, but here's the thing is, did it hurt you if you got the sway disconnect? It's a button. Like I don't see like people going, well, I mean, I'm not picking on you, Seth, but I don't see that as a swaying point of now I got this hole up there. I need a place for my nuggy sauce is what coined by Kelly.
I coined it and you never put it in the video. I'm just saying.
I know. I hear it all the time.
Hey, there's different. There are different sauce holders that you can get for the car.
Wow.
No, but I don't see that as a. I think it sounds cool. Wildtrak. It's exotic sounding. We're like, holy shit, that's not a place like Big Bend or Badlands. That's a whole nother deal. But if you think about it, they got Big Bend, which is an actual place. Badlands, which is an actual place.
Outer Banks,
Black Diamond, or ski slopes, and then Wildtrak doesn't sort of fit into their scheme of things.
Let me just Google.
Yeah, then you have the Outer Banks, which are the Outer Banks.
Yeah, and all they did was copy Jeep on it. And I know I love the Bronco, but all they did was copy Jeep's theory of going Rubicon. Well, that's the most ultimate place they did a Moab for a while. And so I get it.
I wonder if they'll do like a Johnson Valley or something.
They can't
call it the Johnson.
Well, with the Sasquatch, it's the Big Johnson.
Well, and here's the thing, like I agree and I also disagree about the Sasquatch package. I do think everyone should have like a shot at it, like if you really want it from the factory, but I just, again, why wild? I've never really been, I don't want to say I'm not a fan of the Wildtrak, but I never really understood why the Wildtrak was there. But
yeah.
Cool,
my favorite thing
mode.
on forums, though,
I'll get over it.
The Facebook groups is when they go, hey, can you show me these wheels on a Wildtrak? You're like, it's the same body on everything. It's not gonna other than if you wanted that sticker to look the Wildtrak, it's nothing different, man.
I know, it's crazy. And I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I have a feeling I'll have a black eye.
It's known for in Australia. It's a trim.
I was gonna say there's an Australia. Shut.
You can't say Australia without going Australia.
Australia.
There's an Australian company that's called Wildtrak. Same spelling.
Let's see. What's this? Where'd it go? There it is.
Go ahead.
Steel Bronco. Dave, you have to let Jeep go on here. Just let it go. No, there's thing. I mean, I really do think that Bronco improved what the Wrangler did. Like, there's no way it drives better. It's like Alan was saying earlier, though. There's certain things that I've said from day one. The plastics are not as durable as what's in the Wrangler. I just think that's where Jeep's known for 25 years plus with their modern versions. They know what people are doing to them. They know they're going to get scratched up. They know, hey, we better toughen this up a little bit. Where Ford was like, they didn't get that. But no, it drives there's no doubt the thing drives better. I don't care if you give me a blind driving test of, I don't know how you do this, but 10 Wrangler
literally
owners,
blindfold you.
Yeah. But you put 10 Wrangler owners, if they didn't know what they were driving in a new Bronco, they would be like, holy shit, this thing drives great. What did Jeep do to this?
Yeah.
What do we got
This
here?
isn't a Jeep. Michael Nice says, so if they ditch the Wildtrak, does that mean the Haas 3.0 for Badlands? In your thoughts?
They're not officially ditching the Wildtrak. Just
no, we're talking speculation.
This was earlier.
Yeah.
Before you came back.
Well, so there was I saw on Facebook, I forget who it was, had the Bilstein normal Sasquatch shocks next to the Wildtrak, and they're definitely about a half-inch wider, so you're getting more fluid, it's cooler. The reservoir for it's a little bit bigger, but honestly, and the springs were slightly different. I think that's a sales pitch, man. let's be honest, they're Chinese built Fox shocks. So let's not act like, oh my God, these are Fox shocks. Even in the current Raptors, that's Chinese built stuff. It's not American Fox built shocks. But I really think that 3.0 is just sort of a way to go, shit, we got to make this thing a little different. What can we do? Oh, here, we'll just call these 3.0s and be done with it.
Night Honest, thanks for joining. Dave is under review. JW says, any order bank updates? Been hearing rumors about order banks for new orders not opening up at all for 2023.
See ya.
Back to
Bye.
the 2024 model.
You're going to know
No
within
updates.
In a few days. I think you're
Yeah.
going to officially know what Ford's plans are for 23. I will say though, I just from the reports that we put out and that others have shown what they call official Ford PDF is
The confidential one.
Yeah, I a small batch of 23s, but Aly, you've done the Maverick. How long did they keep the Maverick order banks opened up?
3 days. Not even 72 hours. I think so. Again, my opinion, not what's actually happening. I think they're going to do the same thing. I think they're going to let them open up. I don't think we're going to be able to order Wildtrak. I think there's going to be commodity restraints on everything. So everything's going to be priority 99. I've already told everybody, like, if I have your order and we're waiting for these to open up, I have already told you, I'm like, you are not getting this in 3 to 4 months. I'm like, you are waiting for this thing. Like, you're in it for the long haul. Start putting money aside for a down payment. Start throwing $500 a month, like, into a savings account or something. Because it's not going to happen. Because we can't keep them closed forever. Because then other people are going to lose interest. They already have people losing interest, and they'll be like, no, it's not worth it. It's like, I get it, but still.
Yeah. Seth is saying better steering rack in the Wildtrak. I'm still not sold on it. It's 30% stronger. It's still the same rack. I think the gearing, there's a little gear in it they've beefed up that they know has been sort of a weakness of that. But you know what you do with that rack? You just transfer it to Badlands. Now all of a sudden Badlands is even better.
Team Badlands.
Yeah, well, Badlands at some point is going to be a $60,000 ride. You almost can't get a Rubicon.
Which is crazy because I paid like 52.
Yeah,
we paid 54.
Yeah,
but I also don't have Sasquatch, so.
Yeah. So we have Sasquatch mid package on our Badlands.
Yeah,
I have Badlands Lux package hardtop.
Wish I had the Lux package. Way to go, Aly.
Or at least the high that we could have got the screen.
Yeah, the screen, the 12-inch screen. Because I don't care about the charging thing because our phones never seem to want to charge with them anyway.
I don't even like the charging thing.
On them.
The charger port up on the dash would have been kind of cool to have.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, it's not a game changer that
I use it for my GoPro. That's about it.
That's a good idea.
Unless you're in Texas and then your GoPro fries.
Yeah.
Seriously though, the amount of overheating that stupid GoPro did on the Ladies Off Rodeo was ridiculous.
Hey, my phone, I was trying to do a live stream for my dealership's Facebook page. There was one, they were just about to go up and my whole phone just shut down. I'm like, all right, that's new.
Is that the blue sky?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I'll be honest, that was probably the most fun one.
I loved it. I was with Laura and it was a blast. We were laughing so hard.
Yeah, Shelby had to get out and spot us and stuff, and it's funny because Becky from Driven Wild Outdoors was sitting in my passenger seat and she's like, I'm so glad that I drove earlier and this is your obstacle to go over. It's cool, it's easy, you just follow what they tell you.
And it prepped you when we were at Holly Oaks for going up the...
Yeah, it prepped me for going up the... What did they call it? Magma Mountain?
Mount Magma.
Mount Magma. That's it. Yeah.
Sounds like something from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Tell them Mount Magma sent you.
Mark Treadway says $62K for a 4-door maxed out Badlands with Sasquatch.
Yeah. But you think about it, what are you getting for maxed out Badlands, I'm assuming that's hard top. So there's
I'm
in
assuming
reality
hard and
Yeah.
Lux.
hard top $600 relatively. You know, what are you getting for that extra that we didn't get for 54,000? Shitty speakers. It's the same speakers.
The B&O.
You get the B&O tuned stereo in the 12-inch
Tuned.
screen. You get the charging port pad.
I'm gonna build one.
So does he have leather?
See, I would never do leather though.
I wouldn't either. No, I'm just wondering
I like my
if he has
vinyl.
leather.
I think people
Fun.
don't realize the leather is only the arm
Good night,
touch.
Broncos
the
78.
the only soft touch areas, like the back of it, is still the marine grade vinyl.
Oh,
The-
he did steering wheel.
that okay.
I would
Okay,
love that.
that's one.
It doesn't even work half the time.
They could revamp some of their do like Jeep does and do a cold weather package.
I want cooled seats too, though.
Somebody said they did those with the who's the seat company?
There's
doing it?
aftermarket ones that'll do that.
Yeah, somebody said cat skins have a thing where they can do
So
that.
here's what I would love, Allie, and you can put it in the bugs of the ears. I would love because I
bugs of the
I
ears.
built a vehicle on their website or on the website a couple weeks ago. I would love
And
for
you didn't
like
film it?
like for like you know how Best Buy when you go shopping for something and it says compare these models or whatever. Like
Yes.
I wish Ford's website did that with their builds.
So do I.
Because
Worst way.
it's terrible to sit there and because somebody asked a question in one of the groups that we're in and I was like, shit, before I answer, I better go look, make sure I'm telling her the right thing because I know some things have changed.
You mean you're one of the responsible internet people that actually go and look?
Yeah. Like, you know how responsible I was the other day? There was a chick in there that was asking what everybody paid per month for their vehicle.
Don't ever.
And I was like,
don't get me started on that.
I was like, it's going to differ depending upon your credit score. Go to this website.
Not
and
even
calculate
that.
the
It depends
payments.
on like, oh my gosh. I had to delete what I wanted to say.
Did you type it out and then
Well,
get it all
I
out?
did.
and
Well,
be
you
like,
got-
okay,
I
I
did.
deleted
You
it
got
all.
credit score, you got down payment, you
Well,
got
and that's the thing too.
Not
So like, I
even
actually went
credit
out to a
score.
website.
You have debt to income. You have so many different variables because I've had people who are like 500 credit score get approved by Ford, and I've had 800s get denied because of
crazy.
debt to income and other things. Like there's so many different variables, and
yeah,
that
just
one
because you
made me
pay on
so
time
mad.
and have a good credit score don't mean you have the ability to
Well,
take
I
a
went
loan.
out to a
Hey, hey.
website and I found here's an estimate based on your credit score, what your interest rate might be based on these. And I plugged it in there. And then I said, here's another one. You can go and calculate how much you might down payment. Guess what? She didn't like my comment.
Nice
She
steal,
wasn't happy.
Bronco.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another Alley fan.
We're just hanging out.
We're gonna find Alley her next dude or whatever.
I don't know about that.
Her next
You have to
puppy.
pass. You have to pass the Maya test. If Maya doesn't like you, doesn't matter.
Well, dogs are pretty good gauge of people.
I'm scared to even be like the cabin roommates next to y'all. Then at Supercell, we might get killed.
Allie will be like, bye.
Y'all gotta leave.
No, you met Maya at Hollyoaks.
Yeah,
You're the animal whisperer.
She didn't bite me.
I've never seen a dog even attempt to bite you.
I have some survey stories where
Well, that's
she's
different.
rabid. Maya's rabid. Okay, she's a rabid wolf dog.
I
And
had
she's
some
like throwing herself against my door.
Great Pyrenees are mean, and if they got goats they're guarding or whatever, I've had to take a survey
We don't need to hear about that.
just like this, and
We don't need to hear about
then
that.
the dog left me alone.
Seth asked, has anyone done any fun snow wheeling before the snow melted? We haven't gotten any here.
Not yet.
Not wheelable.
Well, I mean, we did a live stream, Seth, where we even took the soft top down.
That was last year, but we had fun in it. Yeah.
I did think about the couple flakes we had the other day. I thought about just like going, well, we need
Wasn't
to go.
enough snow.
I know, but still, it was fun.
I know.
Yeah, so honestly, I thought we would have snow by now, and we don't. So
Yeah, which is just crazy to me.
We've had a mild winter here.
literally
That means you guys
none.
are going to get it in April.
Shut up.
I'm sorry. It's true. You know I'm right. You just hate it.
I'm ignoring you right now because I'm not looking. See, here's the thing they don't tell you about working in a dealership. They'll do the hiring process, they'll get you in, and then winter comes and they're like, oh yeah, you got to go clean off all the cars.
I don't want to do this in my own car.
Exactly. I don't do it on my own car.
Are you one of those people that go on top of the roof and let it just hit the car behind you?
Have you seen how tall I am?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I can't reach it.
In my video where I got up at 5 a.m. and took the Bronco out and was going, just nobody out there. You know how much shit I took because I didn't scrape the damn snow off of the hood? There was all these nasty
thought about
comments.
it. I could try. Okay, it's obviously gonna have to snow because can't do it now. But I could try to like take my top from Best Top and like fold it back and then get the snow off that way.
We had to take our soft top back and we had to pull all the snow off of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, guys, go Aly, what is your YouTube channel?
Aly DuBois.
What?
Aly DuBois. Just my first and last name.
Okay, go subscribe to Aly's channel.
Yes, please.
I see Aly starting to promote it, so we got to get a few subs over there for her.
We're trying it. Don't make fun of me, but we're trying it.
Yeah.
I'm up to 31.
You got 31 subs?
Yeah.
Come on, let's get come on, I need 5 subs. Come on, guys. 5 subs for Aly over there. Kelly is going to put the link in.
I have 4 videos. I'm better at shorts than I am videos, so we're trying the videos thing.
She needs 100 subs so she can secure her name.
Yes.
Oh man, there was a video of you from Brighton Ford up there popping up.
Yep. I don't want to talk about that one. I hate that one.
33 now, by the way. So
heck yeah.
But if you guys would go show Aly some love.
You said you don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. It was like this, and it was so early in the morning, and I can't remember what happened the night before. It was something with Maya. So like I literally didn't sleep. I didn't know we were doing the video. They just told us to like be there. Nope, can we not?
Not doing it.
I can easily leave this.
She says I'm out.
I'm done. I don't even know what I did to my computer today.
Well, clearly not enough. It keeps dying on you.
I know. I'm like still trying to figure out the sound issue. Because like now even like my background and everything is gone of the Raptor.
Clear your cache and cookies.
Michael says, Dave, did you have permission to take the Bronco out? Well, that was mine still at the time that I took it out then. Or I thought it was mine then. But
you're up to 40 now.
No way. For real?
Yeah, 42.
Heck
42.
Yeah.
Be sure to hashtag All Train Nation. Leave her a comment on something so she knows. Hey, the power of ATN. So back to that conversation, Aly. So obviously, you know nothing. You know,
No.
we're just having a conversation here. You know, there's no official. I'm sure you've seen all the BS, and I know your mailbox is full from all this of like.
Oh,
you can't answer the questions.
I've stayed away from my phone. I've stayed away from my email for the most part. Like I have DMs on Instagram, Facebook, like you name it. They're like, "What's going on? What can I tell my dealer?" All this stuff. I'm like, nothing. I'm like, Ford literally hasn't told us anything.
Yeah.
So
what was funny
until
was when I
tomorrow
broke
at 11:30.
I broke that story. I had a couple dealers reaching out to me going, "Hey, how do you know this? What?" I'm like, "Hey, man, look, I'm a reporter. Like, I'm not telling you officially anything. Let Ford officially tell you." But I will say that what started all this off, and I wasn't first to this. Bronco 6G. Somebody put the title of it was official dealer, and then it was just bullshit, man. Just.
I can tell you right now, someone's getting fired.
They didn't want to have the balls to say what they knew. And it was and then it just let the speculation game run free. And then I was like, well, let's check in on this. And then I got some inside info on it. And I was like, holy shit, man, they're just so wrong on this. But all that did for dealers is just I know Bronco 6G, they do a lot of good, but in that instance, there was a lot of bad there. They're not journalists over there, trust me. Like
No.
even
It's
now,
a gossip column.
yeah, every day I have to figure out new contacts because contacts will shut up on you real quick if they got in trouble or whatever. Like the BS that I see over there sometimes, man, take it for what it is. Even with me, I try to be honest. If I'm speculating, I'm like, here's my opinion of what's going on. But when you type it out over there
Yeah.
with the headline official dealer and give no context to that,
Yep.
I know you put on your Instagram or whatever.
I was super mad. I was like, whoever leaked this, I hope you have the day that you deserve.
Yeah. All right, guys, we need 5 more for Aly. 5 more will get her to 50.
So mad because I had people blowing me up. I didn't know how to answer them. I couldn't answer them. And I'm like, listen, like, we have to have the dealer meeting. And like, even when we were talking, I started to get so frustrated because like I started typing in like in our little search box, like little tidbits from what is being released tomorrow. And I'm like, because normally something will pop up, something will give. I'm like, where are they getting this from? And I had reached out to a couple of Ford people. I'm like, hey, I need to know. And I screenshot the Bronco G6 form. I'm like, I need to know if this is true because I need to know how to answer people. And I ended up texting my boss. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was Sunday. I was like, hey, just so you know, like we're walking into a shitstorm. And this is what I know. And of course he's all excited and he's like, hey, they'll get $2,500 to get into an F-150. Hey, let's do this. And it, like, I mean, he's pumped. He's like, screw it. We'll start switching people. And like when Bronco order banks open, we'll start over. We'll figure it out, whatever.
Yeah.
And when we were talking to him, I'm like, oh my God, this all makes sense now because of this $2,500. A lot of the dealers, I didn't COBP, which is the customer verification program. We didn't do some of them because it's not like you get a rebate because it's already tied to your reservation if you have one. Price protection is already there. We can do it the hard way and just request the check from Ford. You don't need the rebate. So we went through all these things. Well, now the deadline is pushed until January 27th. So I'm like, okay, this now all makes sense of like what is going on. And it started making sense with the $2,500. And I'm like, okay, but like official Ford paperwork would be fantastic. So I knew how to talk to these people because people are angry.
Oh, sure. Well, they have every right to be angry.
I don't blame them.
If you're an early reservation holder and you've been pushed back, you've taken your lumps, and then you're
day 1, day 2, day 3.
November, they were like, okay, 23s, and we're pushing all these we're going to get through all these reservations.
Yep.
I know it's PR. They have to say something. They can't just ignore it. But come on.
I will say though, they did get through a lot of the reservations at least that I knew that like we had. I think we have I think we're down to 10. Maybe 15. Like I want to say 15 or less. Over 290. Wow. I think we're at 297. I think final one was 297 for reservations. That doesn't include that very small window that people could just walk in and like place an order from. So I know we had over 300.
Wow.
So what do you think like for Grainger? Because I was asked this and I didn't know how to answer it. What do you think? Because Grainger had 600-800 orders at one point. I mean, Ford's
not giving them to them.
No, but it's almost going to ruin that dealership a little bit. Now they took a lot of outside state orders. I understand they tried to play the game. The game changed, but at the same, they're effing that dealership like majorly. And
because it's a gamble the dealership was hoping would pay out.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't say they did the right thing because how they said that they would ship a Bronco like free of charge. I'm sorry, shipping now costs $2,500. We don't make $2,500 on a Bronco.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where that money is coming from. So when people do that, I'm like, listen, I don't know what they're doing. I just, as a business standpoint, I don't know. We can't sell a car and not make money.
If they were forcing them, they had to do financing with them.
Yeah, I mean they could have. Could have been a
Because
little
they'll make it on
disclaimer.
they'll make some on the back end.
Well, Luke told us
Mhm.
that I think he said
he got $2,000 off.
I think he said he had to. Maybe he said he did have to
did,
finance
yeah.
with them, and then he went home and refinanced.
He said he had to stay
Yeah.
finance with them for 6 months, and then he could move it if I remember
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
That makes I mean legally you can't say that, but yeah.
Our dealer did,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
or it
Legally-
cost us $1,500.
Yeah, it can't cost you. Yeah, I'm keeping them off that.
Alex, please tell me when I'm number 1 that you, I'm not going to fly up there and then it's going to be like a shit show of like, oh, you got to have this package, you got to have this package.
And you got to trade in.
No. Yeah, if
they
you still
know-
have your gladiator.
We are not going to have the Gladiator by that point. We're getting rid of
Lord, Lord, I hope not. Though I did hear some rumors that we're getting closer to Rangers, so that's
I
kind of
heard that rumor too. Weird.
I still think in a couple of weeks they launch it. Not as for sale, but they launch the vehicle like here's the US spec version.
I think we'll get a teaser soon.
Yeah, and why I think Chicago is a truck centric show. Now Ford will do it on their own. I mean they're
Yeah.
they're going to do like
Well,
they did the Raptor.
they've been doing all the launches on their own.
Mhm.
Look at Super Duty. They took everyone down to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So that Friends of Ford program, they've been taking us to those. So like they've been expecting us to like launch these things. Like look at the
Yeah.
Mustang. That was down in Detroit during the car show. That was so fun. That's still like a great memory for me. But
Super
yeah,
jelly,
Ford's
by the
gonna.
way.
Yeah, it's
Just
so
gonna say it.
cool. I was like in awe. I was like a little kid in a candy store, and I couldn't believe all the people that I was meeting and stuff. So that was really cool. So that was really exciting.
We're stuck at 46, guys. I need 4 more subs for Aly to get her to 50. Come on, nation. I know some people will be watching this afterwards, and they're going to be like, "Well, I was 55." That even
You're
helps
like,
her
"Wait a
even more,
minute."
trust me. So speaking of Mustang, when is have people been able to order that yet, or what's going on with Mustang?
No, we get an announcement February 9th.
Okay.
So I'm sure they'll open
Is
a
it a
short time
24 or
after.
23?
24.
Okay. So it won't. What's the Mustang plant? Something Rock or
Flat Rock.
Flat Rock. So it's
Yep.
probably in trials now, and not till probably June.
Yeah,
Just
there's
like
there's a couple of them being built right now, but just not.
yeah.
a ton-
Oh, I've
not-
seen the convertible floating around, and yeah. Let's see. So Bronco, they push. Oh, sorry.
Just wanted to put this out there. Tennessee Supercell tickets opened yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, they did, and I have them.
Ally's got hers.
Which technically, Aly didn't have to buy one because we could have put her on ours.
Yeah.
91 days. 91 days, everybody.
So
Yes.
excited.
Yes.
Aly, will we get to see your Bronco in our booth at all?
Sometime.
She had to think about it.
I was like, I got rides and shit to do, man. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I've already started like planning like what ones I got to do. I'm like,
We've had quite a few from the Michigan Bronco Club, and they all know that we love Windrock, and they're like, I think they want us to guide them around. I'm like, look, man, I really want to go wheel at Windrock, but I have a business I have to be at.
Kenny wants you to in the worst way. He's like, do you think they would go? I'm like, I haven't talked to them about that yet, but I'm like, we'll talk about that later because I think they're still trying to figure out
Yeah, we'll be down there Tuesday.
like how much interest and stuff
Yeah.
that is for
I could
Windrock.
probably do it Tuesday afternoon,
But nobody's going to be there.
but yeah, as far as like we have load-ins Tuesday,
Kenny might.
Load-ins Tuesday night.
but I would love to have the
I'll be
Bronco
there
dirty
Tuesday
anyways
night.
for our booth. But you'll be what?
I'll be there Tuesday night.
Well, come with
Yay!
us. Well, Tuesday night. I was gonna say Aly could come with us. We wouldn't do anything crazy.
She'll probably be done by the time she
Did
gets
you
there.
do
not wanna
Did you
drive
do
anymore.
Windrock last year? with
No,
Josh
I
and-
was nervous just because I didn't know what to expect. Like
Do you have
advance
Bronco
up.
braces yet?
Bruster?
Wait, what?
Bronco Buster.
Bronc Buster braces yet?
No. Yeah, I talked to them about those.
Talk to Tyler.
I know. I need to talk to Tyler.
You could just start calling people and just saying, "Hey, I get shit for free, and this is how it works, buddy."
Is that how that works? Are we supposed to call
No.
people and say that?
I would never do that.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't I mean, honestly, the only thing I've gotten for free is the top from Best Top.
Yeah. Well, you
And
makes sense.
that's
They got your headquarters or their deal there, and they want to test it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and I emailed. I mean, honestly, with how many times I had to drive out there, I'm sure I paid for
You earned
it
it.
just within the trips. But I mean, that's it. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, I won't support, or I'm not even interested in a company if I don't like or believe in their product, just because
Yeah.
if I think
Same.
it looks like chintzy, or if I'm questioning it too much, I'm one of those people that have to like see it, feel it, touch it, like
Yeah.
see if I really like it type of a thing. So sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard for me, but yeah, no.
No, I totally get it.
Well, so with Supercell, obviously there'll be the IAG will probably be there. Some of the big dogs will be there for aftermarket. What are you looking forward to seeing? Since you're I got to see it, touch it, feel it for my parts person. Is there something that's got your interest?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I don't really know what I want to do with my Bronco next. Like, I have all these camping ideas, but I don't know how to like execute it, and I don't know like what I want to do next, because again, the mod world is very new to me.
Right.
Like, I made fun of these people because I never understood it. Like,
Welcome to
here I
the show,
am.
Aly.
Like, ask my mom. I'm eating my own damn words now because I'm like, I never got it because I always leased. So like, I kept my car a month. I'm like,
Same.
I'm not doing all this stuff to like give it away type of a thing. And plus, through Ford, you can't do a lift kit. You can't do a leveling kit. You could not upgrade your tires to, like, you could do some things, but like you couldn't go huge with your tires. Keep all your shit.
I used to, in the Nissan world, these guys would go lease these Xteras and stuff, and they'd go put these lifts and all this shit on them. I'm like, what are you doing? Well,
And then they demod the shit out of them.
yeah,
when
I'm
they
like,
go
well,
turn
we'll
them in.
just switch it when I'm done. I'm like, you know how much effort that is? No,
It's
thank
a
you.
lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I did lease my Bronco at first. And then, because again, I thought I was going to keep this my 6 months, because technically with my D plan. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to get back into my truck because I'm an F-150 girl. I love our trucks. I will sell the crap out of our trucks and our Broncos. Like, those two are my jam all day long.
I'm curious to see what the new headlights and taillights look like.
So am I. Well, seems me a lot like the Super Duties, but that's again what I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably.
But
where's Elliot?
When I had to turn it off because I kept getting dings on here. But honestly, like, I thought I was gonna give up the Bronco. I didn't think I was gonna keep it this long, but here we are.
Gonna give you up.
I'm at 47. I'm at 47.
See?
3 more.
Where do we start at?
We got
30
this.
something?
36.
31.
31. Ah, there you go.
I think it.
I'm
Oh
sure
wait,
by
maybe
the
it was 30.
morning.
I think it was 31.
If they make it into 2 hours and 34 minutes of the show, which if you made it this far
On the
in
replay.
in the comments, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
Are the Raptor letters in the back
DJ
window
Bliss
supposed
says,
to?
are the Raptor letters in the back window supposed to light up when you hit your brakes?
No,
It's just
not from
right?
the factory.
I think it's stamped or something in the plastic backwards Raptor.
Zach
Yeah.
N said, dealer called me today to say my Bronco finally got on the train. Yay!
Woohoo!
Step in the right direction there, that's for
Paula.
sure.
I'm sure Terrence Mooney would be like to hear that.
Right. Aly, your thoughts? I have a Wildtrak order first in line at my dealer and want to keep the order. By the way, I'm a day one reservation holder.
I can't tell you. I have no comments.
She doesn't know, honestly,
She doesn't know
guys.
anything.
She doesn't. I mean,
I
she's
don't
read
know.
everything that everybody else has, but nothing.
You want my thoughts? You and 1,000 other people. It's such a shit shoot of like who's first, who's second. Like,
Yeah.
if Ford has your parts, they're gonna pull it. It doesn't matter if you're first at the dealer.
Yeah.
Ford changes the order codes all the time. We change them based on when we place the order. Ford changes them based on what they can pull. So it's an uphill battle when it comes down to that. I'm not trying to discourage you from getting the Bronco. It's truly Ford will pull it when they can. I would say stick through it. I mean, worst case scenario, it comes in, you don't take it. Again, I mean this in the nicest way possible. Someone is going to buy that Bronco.
Right.
Like everybody wants these things. So my reason for everyone is stick it out. If you really want the car, stick it out. It'll be worth it once you have your keys.
Who's crazier, Bronco or Maverick customers?
Oh shoot! You really want me to answer that?
Yeah.
I think Maverick's more crazy.
Well, I can tell by my
Honestly.
buddy Johnny in here who covers the Maverick a lot. Like that, I'm amazed at the audience for that vehicle.
It is annoying.
Really?
I mean, they did a very good job at price point. We don't have a Fusion anymore.
Yeah.
Think of your base Escape. You're spending $31,000 MSRP. Not talking discounts, not talking rebates. I'm talking MSRP, where you have the Maverick that is in your low 20s. That's where our Fusion was, and that was kind of our filler.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's insane. I didn't think it was going to be that hot of a car. My friend ordered one, actually. And I got my Bronco the same day she got her Maverick. So she got hers very early within all the chaos of everything. And I asked her, because she was actually in Tennessee visiting family, and she had to wait a couple of days to come pick it up. So I call her. I'm like, listen, do you care if I take this on the expressway? Because she knows what route I was going to take, because she used to live in Brighton. And I was like, I'm going to take it on 96, go to Lats and turn around. Do you care? And she's like, no, go for it. Obviously don't crash it, because she's not going to get another one.
Right.
But it's one of those things, as soon as I drove it, I'm like, okay, I kind of have to change my mindset on this, because I didn't like it at first.
Yeah.
But for the price point, I can see why everybody wants it. It's affordable. It's great on gas. Gas up in Michigan is still $3.39.
Hey,
it's
277 here. 277.
Shut up.
Right. See, somebody else gets to tell you shut up for once. That's why you really brought Aly
I
on.
must be a glutton for punishment bringing Aly on here. Damn it. No, I missed the mark on Maverick when it came out. I didn't want to cover it because I was just like, it's nobody's.
He thought it was silly.
Well,
I didn't
it
want
is kind of silly, but I get it.
To be honest, I didn't want to order them. I passed a lot of them off because I had my hands full with Bronco and this train that
now they're lifting
on.
that silly thing. You can get a tremor package in it.
People they're throwing tremors on everything. I'm waiting for a Tremor Explorer. I swear. Well, they have the Timberline, so I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
It's just it's one of those things that it's I didn't see it being as big as this. I have people message me every day, asking when they can get one or when they can order one, and people who aren't in the auto industry are flabbergasted when I tell them you can't even order one. They're like, well, why not? How do I get one? I'm like, you don't.
Get in line.
I'm like, you, and I write down everyone who calls. I have a notepad just filled with names and phone numbers saying, call me as soon, not for Rangers, for Mavericks. So they have lists, and they're like, well, how many people are on the list? And I'm just like, here you go. Whoever says yes first gets it.
Hey, replay this part for your GM. Brighton Ford, your #1 Ford dealership for Middle Michigan area. They treated me great. I got the Aly Dubois treatment of I was #1 on her notepad, and I need to be #1 with Brighton Ford. So go see Brighton Ford. No, I'm playing.
Yeah,
I was
you're like, where's this going? So actually, when I told my manager this whole thing and I showed him the video, he's like, are you serious right now? I'm like, yeah. So that's when he broke it out and he put Ranger in big letters and then put your name. He's like, here you go.
Then he blotted that up and threw it away.
No, it's technically on the computer. So
Jason Leopold said, it is silly that they use the Maverick name on a truck. They should have called it a Ranchero.
Well, I've said this a million times. A name is $1 billion. Let alone, it's just the value of any name that they've used in the past is $1 billion. So there was
with a B.
Yes.
With-
Not with a P. Not $1 billion. $1 billion.
All right, so we're gonna change a little bit. So
Okay.
TN Code Monkey says I can't get my Bronco clean from mud at the Ocoee. Tires, fenders, handles, bumpers, and mirrors seem to be stained. Any suggestions?
That's a good question because these fenders stain like crazy.
Yeah, I noticed we've got some
So-
kind of weird spots on our fenders.
I think you could probably take a
Hold
heat
on,
gun
I'll
to
pull it
them and it
up.
might bring it out on the fenders.
So I actually use some. I don't know how you guys feel about them. I actually use something from the chemical guys.
No, I love the chemical guys.
So hold on, let me find it. I'll know it as soon as I see it. It's out in my garage and it's cold and I don't want to go in my garage.
I don't blame you on it. And if anybody has any rapid red fenders that they would
From
like to
their
get up,
OBX.
from their OBX, I would like to get a hold of some rapid reds. I have some Sasquatch fenders if you would like them, and I have normal fenders if you'd like them.
have. Stop. I
Let's
just feel like I was
do-
Moira from Schitt's Creek all of a sudden.
David.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a good one, baby. Good job.
Okay, so the first one that I used from the chemical guys is called Tough Mudder.
Hey, this is a family show.
And this is, oh, Melanda. Hold on, where's the other one?
It's right there.
Well, I was making sure I got one that wasn't like massive. Are they in like a gallon jug?
It can be.
There's the little bottle
There's
there.
smaller ones too. I think
There it
there's
is.
like four or five sizes that you can get in these things.
They have something for everything.
They honestly, I love their stuff. I haven't found anything I didn't like yet.
It always smells so great.
It does.
So there's Tough Mudder is in the chat.
And this is
And
an affiliate
then-
link, by the way.
It is.
And
Ellie needs to get
then
set up on Amazon.
Yep.
I've tried. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
We'll get you there.
And then okay,
Now watch.
it's called.
Allie gets on here tomorrow and has like 8,000 subs, and I'll be
Right.
like, what the hell, man?
I'm not that popular. Okay.
Not even 8,000 views on the video.
Yeah.
The other one that I use, and it's hit and miss on the dirt. I guess it just depends on like the type of dirt that it is. But it's called Nonsense Invisible Super Cleaner. That's for like inside and outside. I've used it on any plastic piece. And I love that it's called Nonsense.
Have you seen the stains though that they're talking about, where that mud just gets sucked into the plastic, and you can scrub it? It doesn't seem to want to go away.
Yeah, it's called Holly Oaks.
No, this is then it just
Especially down here, we get like clay in some areas that we play in.
Yeah. Yeah, Holly Oaks is hit and miss. Some of it, like, I don't know. Some of it stains like no other.
Let's see where Allie is. Let's see.
Mine won't load.
It's really slow.
One more.
4,220. Just kidding.
damn.
49
I wish.
subscribers.
Who wants to be Allie's number 50?
50
Come on.
50.
Somebody.
50-50.
So Allie, you expect to find out officially from Ford next week? I'm assuming next couple days. I mean,
No.
not what it, not
Good night,
what,
Eric. Thanks for joining.
12,
not what
12
it says
hours.
now, but just something about the order
12
banks.
Literally 12 hours from now. If anyone
Nice.
calls me at 11:31,
I was going to say, don't blow her up.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Well, I hope it's honestly for everybody. I hope what I reported is somewhat wrong. I don't think it is because it came from an official source that's not official.
Incredible.
Yes, a credible source. But if you're
It
Wild
wasn't
Track
me.
guys, remember hold till officially Ford says here it is. It's not official.
And the thing is, I think what Ford is trying to do, I hope that they're not canceling all the Wild Track orders. I'm hoping that they're just trying to get a call. I think they have all Wild Tracks left. I
Yeah.
truly do. So I think that's why they dangled the $2,500 saying, hey, get a Badlands. And they're hoping that dealers have the knowledge to maybe sway one person saying, hey, like, why are you getting a Wild Track? Are you going to use them for A, B, C, and D? No, okay,
Yeah.
well then you need to look at an Outer Banks and do it
Yeah.
this way. Like if you want to pay for it, go for it. But if you're not going to use this car for what it can potentially do and what it's supposed to do,
Right.
look at other options. Look at other trim levels. You could be throwing your money away and not be happy with the car because you're not educated in the right
Mhm.
Well, I think
equipment and things like that.
dealers have had time now to be educated themselves to know how
Mhm.
to guide cuts. And if you feel like your dealership doesn't know what they're talking about,
Just message me.
yeah, I would. Well, even that, I don't think they allow them to move anymore. But
No, you can't, but I'll be happy to answer questions. But and the thing is, like, if I like even when this first launched, like the first time I got to touch and actually look at a Bronco was dealer preview. We did all of this blind. We had a piece of paper that we had to try to memorize, and when you have a bunch of different trim levels, it's hard. So a lot of people didn't know what to expect. That's the thing. So I think Ford's hoping that will help change some reservations, saying, "Hey, you actually need this Bronco type of a thing." So,
hey, Allie, I'm number 50. I wasn't subscribed to your channel.
oh my god, rude.
I am. Just saying. I have been.
It
I
better
got
say
50.
50.
50.
Mine won't load now. Now I'm
Before
at
you-
50. I'm happy.
There you
now.
go. Before we run away, I saved this one towards the end because I know you wanted to end on this probably because Hollyoaks is this weekend. So
Come hang
you've
out
got
with me.
what are we calling it? Snowfest?
Snowfest. It might be Mudfest. We're not sure.
Is this the Jeep Snowfest that you guys are invading?
It's no. Because Michigan Bronco Club is now a part of it. No.
But it started
Yeah.
out as a Jeep event, right?
Yes, it was it's the same he's the same guy who throws on Jeep 4 Fest. I think it's in Minnesota, California. There's another place in Michigan.
Gotcha.
So now we're just kind of throwing snow in front of it and seeing what happens. We have a ton of vendors coming out. Again,
Cool.
I think it's gonna be more Jeep mods than Bronco mods, but I think we just don't have enough people to do it yet. So,
Nice.
but it'll be fun.
we
I think
found-
50 of our guys are coming. So
That's awesome.
We found another Brighton Ford video with Allie talking about
Nope.
Broncos.
Just leave her be.
nope.
Hands off.
There's a blooper reel that's like really dumb. It's ridiculous.
52.
52.
They don't load. Actually, the blooper reel. I can't say this on camera, but
We got
I'll tell you off camera. But like, you'll watch it and you'll know what I'm talking about. But that one is actually really funny. And I did a lot of their videos at first, so I'm in like 50 of their takes, and I'm like, okay, other people need to start doing videos now because I can't be on all of them.
Well, there you go, guys. That's almost 3 hours of Bronco talk with a couple.
buddy.
I know. Hey, she's an hour ahead of us.
I know.
With a couple Mustang questions. I want to say thank you to Diabolical Alan and Brandon for being on.
It was awesome meeting them.
Clearly, they
Super cool guys.
they want to just they don't want
Awesome.
to just sell you product. They want to educate you on the product they're selling, which to me speaks volumes about an aftermarket company. You know, there's fancier websites out there, but I don't care as long as they treat me right. And I'll be honest, they've treated me and Kelly very, very nicely.
Mhm.
And if they didn't, I would tell you. So, and they wouldn't be back on the show. but we appreciate them being on. Obviously, Allie for joining the show. We always appreciate Allie and for being officially part of it. Remember,
It's
don't
fun.
email her with this. Give it a few
No,
days.
actually, I will say no one has sent like crazy emails yet. So I definitely
Don't give them an
appreciate it.
opening, Allie.
Honest
give
is
him
gonna
an
watch
opening.
the rest of this and be like your best buddy now.
Here's the best part. Technically, tomorrow's my day off, but I'm taking Saturday off. But I have a doctor's appointment, so I'm going in late. So I'm gonna like go in at like 11:15 right before the announcement, and then I'll talk to people. You're like, here you go.
In other words, Dave, don't be blowing her up at
I'm not
11, 15, 16.
I will be pretending to work myself. So So there it is, guys. I once again thank you to Diabolical. Kelly, any final thoughts?
That's it. That's all I got. Other than you all know I love our slipstream. That's all I'm going to put out there.
Aly, you got any final words?
No. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Right?
So whether it be 2-wheel drive, Kelly,
4-wheel drive.
it only matters what you drive tonight if you're driving a Bronco here. And hey, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. or not.
Don't convert. Just 7
the happy
p.m.
hour.
Central.
Join us for the happy hour. Tim Esterthal will be on there with a pickup truck plus SUV talk. We're talking full-size trucks, and I have a feeling we're going to have a lot to talk about. So we are what, Kelly?
We're out.
Peace, everybody. Bye.
See ya.